That's alright, Mama. That's alright with you. That's alright, Mama. And just any way you do. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright now, Mama. Any way you do. Come on, Lena. Can you feel the pain? Into him now. About this new world. Ain't no train. Papa's got a brand new eye. Purple haze in my brain. Lately things just don't seem the same. Acting funny and I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Matthew Spear and Leeroy Jenkins in the house. What's up, man?
What is going on, folks?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You're tied into the music. Damn it.
That's all right.
That's the one thing I need to do. I got to separate your audio. I'll do that tomorrow. So just wave. Wave, Leeroy. There's Leeroy. Leeroy's in the house. Good to have everybody here. Please get this shared out to everybody. Got a good show tonight. We are going to be covering a ton. Pete Hegseth and President Trump addressing the flag officers of the United States military. And what does that mean? And like Leeroy and I said, we kind of called it. And, we didn't kind of call it. We called it. There were 5 or 6 things it could have been, and we picked the 2 that it was, and it was. So there it is. Easy peasy, Japanesey. I guess my kids say I can't say that, so it's lemon squeezy is what I'm supposed to say, because the other one is wrong. We're going to cover the Charlie Kirk letter, and of course it's going to embarrass Candace Owens, and she's just going to move right along grifting. It literally just proves every single thing she's been saying, but she won't backpedal because the grift is strong with this one.
First, Charlie Kirk dies, and then strong with the Force you are not. Grifting, you do.
So we'll go into that. What else? I don't know. Whole bunch of other stuff. We'll do it in 3 minutes. We'll get it in post. See you in a second.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree? Stop unfriend me. 'Cause I'm everything you want. Damn, show what you need. I won't tell no lies. Back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be
Oh.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Want to welcome all of our viewers.
Why don't we do that again?
I want to welcome all of our viewers on Facebook, Instagram, X, Rumble, YouTube. It's wonderful to see you. And for those who are going to be listening later on Spreaker and all podcast stations, where we are literally crushing it on the podcast is extremely successful. We're getting about 1,700 to 2,200 downloads a day. That's good. That's a download. That's not just listen. That means people are downloading it to listen to it on a plane or a train or wherever else they would consume our content. So we'll take that. It's pretty good. In fact, it puts us in a ranking for all political podcasts consistently in the top 25, which is pretty good too. So we'll take it. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. It is. It's very awesome. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We're not on TikTok tonight because they suspended us another 7 days. We don't know why. We did nothing wrong. It was a perfect show. I didn't cuss once. We didn't talk about anything that would normally. They just said we had unoriginal content. What do you mean unoriginal content? This is the most original content there is. We hadn't even shown any videos yet, and we got that flag. I just think that they don't want us to grow.
That makes no sense.
No,
given that the show is completely unscripted and mostly what we cover is current events.
Yeah.
How is that unoriginal?
I don't know. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's the shirts you wear. I mean, it is kind of plain.
Jackasses.
I don't know. I've given up. We can't say that anymore. We can't say any curse words anymore. We have to be good. No, listen, I have decided that I'm going to try to turn over a new leaf. And it has nothing to do with church, and it has nothing to do with God, because I don't believe that in the Bible it specifically says that you should not cuss. Now, it does talk about derogatory words and comments towards each other and hate and derision and all that. But I still haven't found a passage that says, cursing is somehow a sin. So I think that you should try to treat people with respect and dignity, and I'm working on that. I'm working very hard on that. I'll be honest with you. Even in the comments on the social media, I have been staying away. Well, there was a couple of people, but those are horrible people. They deserved it. But as far as the cussing, we had a lot of viewers on last night, and we hit like 175 in general pop, and that's pretty good. For a Monday night show, and it was consistent. So we're gonna do the same. We're gonna try to just if I have to let loose one time or Leeroy does, we move on. But we're gonna try to keep it a little cleaner if that's okay.
Slack. We're sailors, so it might leak out every now and then.
I promise. Well, we don't like leaks in the Navy. See, I had a comment. I left it alone. I'm growing. I totally had something about chlamydia and gonorrhea, and I completely let it go. So we're this is progress, Leeroy. It's progress. So listen, let's hit the shutdown thing right away. Oh, first of all, Charlie Kirk shirts. We did the math, and it looks like in the period of time that we did the sales, which was about 10, 11 days, maybe a little more than that, we did about $1,352 in sales, which is pretty good. I mean, that's not bad at all. I mean, considering how many pieces that is, that's a lot. We sold shirts. Surprisingly enough, our third highest selling object was stickers. So a lot of stickers, a lot of car stickers. People wanted those. So anyway, those are done. That is now off, and Olivia and I will be sitting down with the books and figuring out what check we're going to write. And we know it's going to be between 500 and 1,000. We might just round up and just give an even 1,000 just to say we love you. Or 500, because that's ultimately what we said we would do. We're just going to look at it and figure it out. So FYI, that is a good thing, and those are the proceeds. We're going to cover the shutdown. We'll jump on that right now. What does it mean? Also, I've moved the ticker over because everyone keeps saying, what's the ticker? Where are we at on Facebook? Here, it's right there. Now you can see it. And when we hit 1 million, I'm going to have to move.
To get another couple of digits in there, yeah.
But, let's one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to do. Annie says I don't cuss that much, not anymore, but I used to, and I know that if I'm going to get a higher like I want my pastor to come on, and if I'm going to do that, I got to clean it up a little bit. And the humor is good on occasion, but it's not needed an everyday thing. Let's keep it where it's at.
All right.
So here's the deal. There's also one other thing we're thinking of is we're thinking of changing our yearly donation of 10% of our proceeds and profits to we Travis Manion right now is what we do. We're thinking of doing TPUSA. So that's a good chunk of change. So that check is a good one. And we'll let you know how that feels. But we're going to wait for tax season or this fiscal year to end out. And then we're thinking of 2026 tax season that we would switch to TPUSA or something else. Okay, that's it. That's all the news and notes. If you want to go to thedumbshow.com/donate or thedumbshow.com to pick up shirts, hats, everything else, what Leeroy's wearing is available, and what I'm wearing as far as hats is available. Go on over there and take a look. And if you guys, we are a 100% funded show. Wimkin is no longer a part of our show. So we are funded 100% entirely by our viewers and our social media and merchandise. So if you want to help out the show, best way to do it is to share and like and get the word out. And then next is to donate and help out the show. Doesn't matter if it's $1 or $2, $10, $100, doesn't matter. Whatever you got, whatever you want to help out with, that's great. We appreciate it. It all goes right here. Goes nowhere else. It goes right here.
And anything short of that, if you guys could even just like, share, and subscribe to the show, that would be fantastic. For those of you who don't kick in, I get it. Hey, Deidre Daly donated $100 to start the work. And there you go. And end the month with my favorite show. Thank you so much, Deidre.
Did you see something cool? Did you see how I blew that up and you instantaneously saw it now?
Yes.
So well, it's going to cost us a little bit more, but I put the show on ultra low latency. So now when you make a comment, it'll be a 2-second delay from when I see it. So anyone in the show, nice. I'll be able to see it.
Nice.
So why no Wimkin? We've separated our relationship with Wimkin. We talked about it, I think 3 nights ago. You guys can go and find it. But yeah, go take a look. And that's it. So
moving on.
It's a long story. One Google search and you'll know why. That's it. You guys can figure it out. Martin Bradley says, "Where's my money?" I don't know. EBT card? I don't know. If the government shut down,
car payments to him or something.
It's definitely like in hiatus if you're looking for government subsidies, because that's going to be done tonight at midnight.
Yeah, how about that?
Let's we have a scammer. I don't know if we have. Oh yeah, we do have a scammer, don't we? We'll see if it happens again. If that person does it again, I'll get rid of them. Just remember, whenever we have scammers, especially when I'm alone and Olivia is not in pocket, it means that I have to find these people myself, and that can be a challenge. Let me see if I can. No, don't have that person. If they do it again, they're toast. I'll nuke them. But right now, we don't care. All right, so let's talk about the shutdown. Okay.
Yeah. How about that?
Why don't you go first? Like
so,
your general feeling on this crap. I mean, it's like, real quick, shouldn't we have a national holiday? Like it's called Shutdown Day. And we always look forward to this and we decide. It's like the groundhog with their shadow. Are the Republicans going to see their shadow? No, there'll be, 10 more days of summer or something, because this is what it feels like to me. Holy moly. Hold on a second. WR32 donated 20 through Super Chat. Remember the old adage, if you buy conservative bumper stickers and wait for left-wing protests to start putting them on cars, you'll get to see how forgiving and tolerant these peaceful protesters are. Visit the merch store. Yeah, just be careful and please do not I'm not paying for any damages if you put something on your car that makes you a conservative, because these people are crazy nowadays. But thank you for the super chat at $20.
Thank you very much for that. I will say this, for everybody who's been hopefully watching the news, what it's coming down to is the Democrats and the Republicans can't seem to get along with regard to certain budgeting issues. And a lot of what's coming out of the White House is basically saying, hey, we don't necessarily want to fund LGBTQ healthcare if they're for, illegals or, things of that nature. It's the stuff that's really kind of outer fringe issues, hot button issues, and the Democrats are all in on this, and they have no runway to go to anything that is currently to the right of their cause. So that effectively cuts out their middle ground because they can't get along, because they can't agree. Then I think what's going to happen is the Democrats are looking to blame this shutdown. They will spin this in every way, shape, or form they can. Spin this to say, look, Trump won't negotiate on this. And because of that, it's going to cost lives. That's likely the outcome. Now, for everybody who knows, I currently work in the government sector, and I have several friends in the government sector. So I need to make it very clear. This is my disclaimer. I do not represent the government. I do not speak on their behalf. And none of this is with the endorsement of the government. That being said, I also feel like I'm not saying anything completely offensive. The people that I spoke with today were half of them were like, let it shut down. I'm good, because what's going to happen is when these people get furloughed, right? Let's say the government shuts down for a week, right? They're going to get that in back pay. So it's like they're getting basically 7 free days off or 5 free days off, right? Because they're going to get all that money back. But for the people that are, say, living paycheck to paycheck, this affects them a little more directly. And I can see the stress. I understand that. And certainly for the people who rely on government programs, there's going to be a certain stress level incorporated with that as well. Sorry if I went on a little too long.
No, you're perfect. As far as payroll checks, when it comes to like disability, payroll and disability are two different things. But if you have disability or you have, a severance from the government, or those will not be affected. Social Security won't be affected. Long-term disability, short-term disability, none of that will be affected by this. So you can rest assured that that's okay. It's government positions that will feel a little bit of this. But surprisingly enough, there are Republicans who are pushing us through that in order to stop to disincentivize shutdowns as a political tactic is to remove all pay of federal employees. And that is going to create quite the storm to whoever decides to do this. Now, this happens all the time. And just same talking points come out. It's the Democrats. It's the Republicans. Well, here's the thing. It's always both, right? Because I'm so tired of this. The first thing we need to understand is anything. That is a big dollar sign. Sorry, I forgot to shrink it. Sandra Edwards donated $10, helping while I can. Always enjoy your shows. Thank you, Sandra. We love you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Very much, Sandra. So we're in a situation where we always see this, but here's what it comes down to. And the truth of the matter is that it takes 60 votes to pass a CR, and this is a continuing resolution. And it's a clean continuing resolution, which means that it's exactly the same, it's status quo as it was last year. And the Democrats are huffing and puffing because they want their money back from that Doge cut so they can give illegals money. Now, here's the thing. They're saying, no, that's not true. We're not trying to give illegals money. Okay, well, let's listen to Maxine. I want you to stand up in a restaurant and get in people's faces. And the lady who pretends that she doesn't create violence amongst her constituents, essentially Marvin Hagler in a dress. Here is Maxine Waters admitting exactly what we just told you, is that they want money for illegals. Here it is. Maybe not. There it is.
Oh,
Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown, because if the government does shut down, Americans.
Excuse me, stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open and we want to work.
Isaac Castillo showed a few customers and family members your YouTube link. Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Thank
that means
you so
a lot.
Much.
That means a great deal. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in a second. We appreciate you.
With the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody. We want to save lives. We want to make sure that health care is available to those who would die.
Yeah, die. They're all going to die. Everyone's going to die.
Help of their government.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we shut down the government, everyone will die. Everyone's going to die. This sucks. I didn't know. I didn't know that this was going to happen, Leeroy.
I'm wondering if gravity has a more significant effect on her face than anybody else in the United States.
It's not just her
Because,
face.
ooh,
Those things are a
you see
swift
her
uptake
hands?
of the knee. Okay, listen, we're not going to insult people.
Sorry.
We can't do it. No, we can't do it. We got to be nice.
So you're good with the government shutdown, even if
Not really.
it means giving health care to people who aren't American citizens?
Well, that's what you're pushing on. What you're trying to do is you're standing here and you're trying to make me say that somehow
You already
we're
did.
going to put non-citizens over Americans. Quit it. Stop it. This is the kind of journalism we don't need.
No, I'm just
You're
asking
divisive.
questions.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
she is.
You're
that's
being
what-
divisive. No,
I'm
please.
not.
You don't need to ask that question. You're just trying to get controversy here. You're not going to get it from me. We want to save health care for all people. Thank you.
All
Thank you,
people,
Congresswoman.
including
people.
including illegals, right? So
Right.
illegals, right? Healthcare for illegals. Why? Well, it's obvious.
Yeah, it's a great question. I
So
don't know that it's.
she just admitted. She admitted it. I mean, am I wrong? Did I miss something, or does it seem like she admitted that healthcare for illegals is a real thing?
No, I mean that she admitted it. She said quite
All people.
bluntly that all people, they were concerned with the health care and the well-being for all people, not just the American citizens.
Okay.
And
All
so
right.
they
Great.
want to roll in illegal immigrants into that equation.
Thank you for
Okay.
being honest. Thank you. We appreciate
Right.
it, Maxine. Yeah, it's good. You know what? It's we don't agree with you, but we certainly appreciate you being honest. So there it is. Simple. Here's the deal. We're going to shut down. They just did a vote on it. They're going to shut down at midnight unless they're now. I'll tell you what. Don't be surprised if there's a last minute roll call vote and this is what happens I don't care. This is the most uneventful. Our government gets smaller. Oh, please tell me it can't be true. Don't stop. You know what all they're going to do? If they actually shut it down for an extended period of time, you know what would suffer? Parks. National parks. Might get a few more weeds, or maybe Yogi, hey, Bubba, hey, boo. Where the bears will run around and they'll be like smoking and having campfires or something stupid. Hey, boo, boo. But
It's not going to affect.
the military doesn't shut down. The military continues. Yes, military back pay is 100%. It's guaranteed, but they don't get paid, and they know this. And military people understand. They do this every year. And they put us through this rigmarole. And here's what it comes down to. This is a continuing resolution. It's a clean bill. Democrats want a dirty bill. They want to throw another $1.5 trillion into it. Republicans aren't going to allow it to happen. There's no way. And Democrats are either going to have to huff and puff their way to midnight and then give up and give in, which they more than likely will, or they're going to get this around their neck during midterms. And thank God Virginia, which happens to be one of the biggest government states in the frickin' union, will vote for Winsome Earl Sears, and we'll get a red governor. So please lock it down. You'll lose Virginia. If you lock it down, you're FUQ'd. So do it. Do it. I want you to do it. I dare you to do it, because Winsome Sears is just going to go out there and say, you need to give the money back to our federal employees, because most of the employees here in Virginia live on the other side of DC. And there's a lot of them. And that's in Ashburn. That's in Fairfax. That's in Alexandria. These are Democratic strongholds. They are blue. And there are middle of the road. And that's how Youngkin won. He made the family values matter. He made the veterans matter. And what Winsome Earl Sears will do the same thing. And Sears will also hit on the lockdown and hold it around Democrats' necks, because everyone knows this is a clean bill. There's no reason not to pass it. They passed it under Biden 9 times. 9. Enough said. 9 times. 9 times. 9 times, Mrs. Bueller. Grace! Grace!
When you really stop to think about how the federal government touches your average citizen on the daily basis, okay? Really stop to think about that. Most people do not deal with the military. They don't interface with the military directly, right? They do deal, some of them might deal with some level of healthcare, right? But that's largely not going to go away. There's the IRS, Sure. There's the National Park Service. Sure. What else is there? What else is there for like your average Arizonian? Why would they care? You know what I mean?
No, and Republicans love it because then they get to do things like they get to reassess positions.
Yeah.
And they get to see the overall effect of running at 1/3 capacity and start firing more people. They also don't have to go through pieces of legislation and jurisdiction when it comes to downsizing or cutting from the budget. So this is a blessing. If you lock it down, you're just giving the Republicans a punch-free card for like a free Subway sandwich. So do this. We love it. Do it. Do it. This is the greatest thing you could give us a month and a half before the election. We love this.
Yeah.
Lock it down. We love it. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. I can't wait to celebrate this lockdown. I can't wait for Virginians to turn completely against Spanberger, who is just a nutso de facto CIA wannabe wanker. And I can't stand this lady. Spanberger's horrible. And trust me, if you only did a stint of a few years in the CIA, there was a reason. I'm just letting you know. When you get into the intel community, if you don't get hurt and you can't do your job anymore, if you're in and out in 3 years, 5 years, you did something wrong. You did something wrong because the process you go through to do it is so strenuous and arduous that selection, it really weeds out the knuckleheads. And if you go into any intel capacity, CIA, FBI, the Department of Defense, doesn't matter. And you only do a certain stint. It's like people who go in the military, go in for 5 and serve 2.5. Something happened. And it's either you were out process, right? Yeah. Or you hurt yourself, which totally happens too. Disability. I the last 6 months of my 5, I didn't serve because I disability, but that's different. You can also look at my sit reps. And you can take a look at my evals and say, okay, well, then this person did a good job. But that short a period of time working in the CIA, it takes a lot to get into the CIA, and then to only do it for a short period of time. Very few people go, oh, you know what? This career isn't built for me. You knew full well what you were doing before you got in there, or you wouldn't have been in the CIA. You would have known what intel's all about because you did something to predate that entry to get you into the CIA. That made you an asset to the farm and to the agency. And you already knew what the community was like. You knew what the IC was like. So it's not like all of a sudden.
I have to imagine that 80% of their recruiting, probably 80 to 90% of the recruiting actually comes from other intelligence agencies.
Yes.
And that remaining 10% might be on the outer fringes of people who have no prior experience.
Yeah. And people in colleges. Yeah.
Right. But largely, that's going to come from the other agencies, NGA.
Right. And honestly, NSA, the NSA does more of that than the CIA. NSA does recruiting farms on colleges camp. They go to MIT, they go to all the tech schools, and they recruit out of those schools for people who are into chaos theory and into incredibly complex mathematical learnings to put them into code breaking and things like that. So they recruit straight out of college, just like the NFL does. CIA is a little bit different. Now, linguistically, now that's something CIA will go after is some linguistics. If somebody comes in and they speak Farsi or they speak ancient Cyrillic, and then all of a sudden, we have a Stargate situation kick in, or they speak ancient Egyptian, they may be recruiting for those languages. But other than that,
movie pissed me off for that reason.
Oh my God, that movie pissed me off for so many reasons. Tell me why it pissed you off.
It was so bad.
Yeah,
okay,
it was.
I'll tell you why.
Horrible movie.
Because And I love the actors. I love the way it was done. But here's why. They find this giant ring in the sand. Great. They bring in this dude who's like, hey, we need you to help translate it. Well, you know what the thing does, right? You know what the symbols are on the outside. Like, maybe you can correlate that. Fine. But you know it's a gate. So, like, why did you need some other guy to come in and tell you, oh, yeah, those are constellations? You knew what it was. It's a path to other worlds. They already said that they had tested it. This is the farthest we've gotten when they were testing. Like, you know what the thing does. It never dawned on anyone to look at the shapes on the outside and go, oh yeah, look at that. It's Orion. Like, nobody thought that.
Sorry. That wasn't my problem with the movie.
That was my problem.
My problem is if you believe that an alien race that has defied gravity and created an endless power source and has the ability to reconstitute and construct cells into a repair from a necrotic state, your technology is just a little more advanced. And why would you F with that situation? Why would you open the door to that and then send a nuke there as a secondary get out of jail free card, when honestly they had already harnessed the power of the atom because they were doing things that we can't even do back in that day. And they've had thousands of years to advance compared to our hundreds of years. And you were already way behind, and you think that a nuke is going to go ahead and satisfy and destroy their technology. I think it was a little presumptuous. It was a little stupid. And if they figured intergalactic space travel, I'm pretty sure I would just left that thing alone.
Yeah, if you like read any of the like Slaughterhouse-Five kind of thing in that part of the book where they turned people into like basically pets in a zoo, then really if you even think that's a possibility, then you don't go through that wormhole with, with a bunch of weapons and nukes. You go there armed the other way with maybe gallons of KY just to try and make nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or, sacrifice some sheep. Bring them 12 virgins. I mean, something. I mean, I try to grasp ancient Egyptian and figure out what do they like? The god of Ra would want at that point, whatever it may be. But a nuke is not probably going to take out that.
You're going to grab your Rick James CD. You're going to grab movies. You're going to grab anything that might entertain.
Colt 45. Right.
Have
some
you
low
tried
and brow.
Crystal meth? It's amazing.
Right. So, something. The best things that our country has to offer, like get Maxine Waters and Hillary Clinton and have them be ambassadors to the situation, so we guarantee an attack and just wipe us all out. Something came across my desk today. The Don't Unfriend Me desk, and it was early in the morning, so I had a chance to get on top of this. But our good friend Barry Morgenstein sends me a text, and he's like, dude, I just got canceled. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I guess he was supposed to go on the Best of New Jersey podcast to promote his book, because he's on his book tour, because, he's putting out the rock and roll photograph book of all his career. Right. So he's putting this out, and they invited him, and he was ready. He took a day off. He sent some money away because he already had arrangements, but he bumped it, and he was supposed to go on this podcast, which they have like 48,000 fans, and it's not that big of a podcast, and he canceled it for him because Barry's just like that. This is the way Barry is. He's just awesome. And they sent him a email or a text, and this is what it said. I did a video about it. I'm going to show it to you because I want everyone to see it, but it read, and it went a little something like this. That's going to blow you away. So it says, "Hi, Barry. Upon a more robust background check into your social media history, particularly on Twitter and X, my team discovered some politically charged as well as highly divisive posts on a number of topics. Best of New Jersey remains neutral and does not discuss politics, and we maintain a strictly positive and supportive atmosphere for all ages and audiences. With this said, we unfortunately have to rescind today's podcast invitation. I apologize for doing this last minute, and that my own cursory glance at the Instagram and Facebook pages when Sarah first reached out didn't uncover this subject matter. This is our first year debuting the Best of New Jersey podcast, and we are making a conscious effort to be very selective of our guests. To ensure we accommodate as large an audience as possible, we wish to avoid potentially alienating anyone, and this means having to turn down any guests that have potentially polarizing content in their social media history. I hope you can understand this. That said, I do wish you success with your new book." Wow. Okay, so basically you're saying it's because he's a Jew. Because that's all that Barry talks about that's divisive, is like somebody will come on there and say, from the river to the sea. And he's like, screw you, pal. He's like, what are you? And he calls out people like Jake Shields and Stu Peters. I mean, these are the worst of the worst. These are the scumbags of what we do. So here's the video. I know. I want you to watch this. Well, wait, you have an opinion that's different?
No, I don't. It's just that, like, if you run a podcast, right, then you invite the guy on. What even makes you think that you even have to bring up politics?
Right.
If you've already admitted in email that you want to remain neutral, then don't talk about politics.
Right.
You're bringing him on because he's a rock and roll photographer,
Right.
not because he's a politician.
Right.
It's kind of hypocritical, isn't it?
Well, here's the point. So take a listen, and then you can tell me what you think, folks. If you have not had a chance, please go over to Barry's page, follow him. Please like this, share this, get it out there. It's doing very well for a reason. And I use my big boy words. I did not cross that line. Here it is. So this is something a little new, not something I've done before, but I think when a friend shows you something that bothers you, you should speak up. So I'm going to tell you a story about Barry Morgenstein. He's a world-class photographer, and he gets invited onto the Best of New Jersey podcast. You haven't heard of it? That's okay. We'll explain that in a second. And it sounds harmless enough. He's bringing his art, his book, and not a flamethrower. And then at the last second, these geniuses suddenly rescind the invite. Why? Because they did a robust background check on his social media. Translation, they scrolled his Twitter feed for 15 minutes and clutched their pearls when they saw a Jew unapologetically calling out anti-Semitism and Hamas apologists. Oh, the horror. Let's stop pretending this was about remaining neutral. Neutral would be letting him come on and talk about his book. Neutral would be staying out of his politics by, not dragging politics into it to begin with. But what they really mean by neutral is woke. Because neutrality, it doesn't exist anymore in the woke brain. In their heads, saying nothing is neutrality, and saying anything they don't like is divisive. And if you're calling out the murder of innocent fathers or daring to say you support the police, suddenly you're just too damn controversial for the Best of New Jersey podcast. And that name, by the way, the Best of New Jersey, really, you're not even the pretty good of New Jersey. You're more like the sort of okay if you're stuck in traffic on the turnpike of New Jersey smelling like Axe body spray. Do you honestly think anyone is sitting around saying, you know what represents the Garden State? A podcast with an audience smaller than a bagel shop on a Tuesday morning. You want to talk about representation? I took a look at your page. Nothing about Jewish businesses. Nothing about Jewish culture. Nothing about Jewish art. Teaneck, Lakewood, Cherry Hill. These are whole Jewish communities, erased like they don't exist, but you'll feature coffee shops, cupcake stores, and some guy who makes artisanal dog leashes out of hemp. That's the best, huh? Meanwhile, an actual Jewish artist gets shown the door for being too polarizing. Funny how that works. And here's what really stinks. Barry turned down paying work to be on this thing. He actually made a sacrifice because he thought this was about art, about books, about photography. But instead of celebrating the universality of art, which is supposed to transcend politics, you reduce the whole thing to, we don't like your tweets. Imagine Mozart being canceled because some town crier didn't like his diary entries. That's what this is. It's pretty cowardly, and it's censorship dressed up as moral authority. And what makes it laughable is the entire scale of it. If CNN drops you, fine, that hurts. If the New York Times slams the door, that's news. But a startup podcast no one's heard of? That's like being banned from the all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet at Red Lobster and thinking it's a national tragedy against seafood. Guys, you're not the NPR. You're not even Jersey 101.5. You're a podcast with fewer downloads than Barry has Instagram likes or dislikes.
That's true.
Let me spell it out. Silencing a Jewish artist because he dares to speak against anti-Semitism is not staying out of politics. It is politics. It's choosing a side, and the side you choose is cowardice. The side you choose is prejudice, and the side you choose is erasing voices that make you uncomfortable. That is not neutrality. That is complicity by definition. Barry is out there calling out the people who cheer the murder of young fathers and headless babies. He's calling out those who glorify violence against cops. Thank you, Joanne. He's standing up against anti-Semites, and for that, your brilliant marketing department decided he was too toxic. No, he was too honest, and honesty is the one thing woke cowards can't handle or abide by. So here's the bottom line. Art matters because it speaks across divisions. It pulls people together even when politics pushes them apart. Photography freezes the human condition in ways words just can't. It's supposed to rise above this nonsense. But thanks to the Best of New Jersey podcast, instead of focusing on art, we're here talking about how a small-time show tried to muzzle a big-time talent. Barry, keep doing what you're doing. Keep shooting, keep publishing, keep creating, because your art will outlive their podcast. In 5 years, your photos will still be displayed on walls. Their podcast will still be struggling to hit triple digits on downloads. That's the real Best of New Jersey. So to Vinny and company, congratulations. You didn't protect your audience from polarization. You protected them from art, truth, and courage. You protected them from hearing from a Jewish artist who refuses to be silent. And that tells us all we need to know about who you really are. I hope you appreciate the attention you're about to receive. It's probably the biggest your podcast will ever be, and will ever be, again. Love you, Barry. Keep it up. I can't wait for my book. See you tomorrow on the podcast.
Drop it hard.
Barry will be here tomorrow. What's that?
Is he? She was just asking. Is he going to be here tomorrow?
Yeah, he's going to be here tomorrow. He's coming
Nice.
on. And I just told him, I said, well, he can't be on that podcast. Come on our podcast.
Hell yeah.
And he's like, sure. It's kind of funny. Can I tell you the exchange and then we'll be done? Good.
Okay.
That was a rhetorical question. So he...
Why do you do this to me?
Because I love you. We're sitting here and Olivia, Barry, and I are chatting. And he goes, hey guys, am I calling in tomorrow or blessing your audience with my face? And I said, face, if you're okay with that via Zoom. And he goes, sure, I'm looking forward to it. And then Olivia goes, well, I was going to skip tomorrow night and have Matt do a solo show, but now that Barry is on, I think I'll be on tomorrow night. And then Barry goes, love it, great. And then literally 10 seconds later, I go, Barry, I am sorry, but after doing a deep dive of your social accounts, we found out that you're a Jew. We won't be able to have you on. And he's like, LOL, I'm dying. And I said, could you possibly stop being a Jew for a bit so we can have you on? 2 hours would suffice. And he goes, I will convert for 24 hours, which works out very conveniently since tomorrow is Yom Kippur, and I won't have to fast. And I said, thank Allah.
Dude,
Oh,
Barry's
man.
such a good dude.
One of my favorite people on the planet, hands down.
Yes.
He's just a good human being, and he's excellent in everything he does. And I like a true friend, somebody who I look at the internet and I look at the people who I've become friends with, and it's crazy. I mean, it started with you and Amy, and then you look at Damani and Leeroy and Ryan Weaver and Eli, and we just go on and on and on and on and on. It's incredible. Go ahead.
A couple of weeks ago, when Sandy and I drove out to Illinois to go see the Doobie Brothers, I was super jazzed about it, and they really are. It was an amazing performance. But I took a couple of pictures, and it was Michael McDonald, for God's sake. You're never going to find another white man with more soul in his voice. So I posted a few pictures. Barry was the first one. He was like, "Oh, that's awesome." He liked them all. He's a great dude.
Did he ask you when Yamo be there? And you're like 15 minutes.
No, he didn't.
Yamo be. Come on, dude.
He didn't.
I get a womp womp for that one. Fine, whatever. So, wah, wah. Oh man, the Doobie Brothers broke up. When did that happen? How long you been down here? I don't know, forever, I guess. Name the movie. Oh, dude, if you name the movie, I will kiss you. Like, I mean, I'm talking tongue.
Hold on.
Oh man, the Doobie Brothers broke up. How long you been down here? Shit, I guess forever. I don't know.
I want to say that's Bill and Ted's.
No.
No.
I'll give you another one. Bushmaster. Is it poisonous? Oh yeah, but very tasty. Oh, see, I'm not
That
good.
sounds like a Abram Zucker movie. I don't know it.
Romancing the Stone with Michael Douglas and
Yes.
Yeah, what a good movie.
I remember that. I remember when they were when he was sliding down the cliff.
Yeah.
And she was in front of him, and he
lands at her.
Yeah.
Looking to be a hell of a day.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Trinidad El Diablo, the Devil's
I'm
Picture.
gonna have to watch that again. It's been
What a great movie. So good. So underrated. But such a Danny DeVito. He's like, look at those snappers, will ya?
I love him.
He's like, first thing I'm going to do, Ralph, is I'm going to break every bone in your body. It's such a good movie, man. I love that movie. One of my favorites.
We share the same birthday.
With Michael?
No, Danny DeVito.
Oh, Danny DeVito. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Romancing the Stone. What a great movie, man. It's just such a his character is, it's like if you wanted to get Han Solo and Dr. Jones but have him be a real vagrant and a vagabond, like Han Solo said that he was a scoundrel, but Michael Douglas is a scoundrel in this. And he plays that role so well. And then his sawed-off shoddy is just perfect. But there was a movie that was based off, a lot of people don't know, which is the Adventures of Jake Slade, which was also really well done. And it was romance.
I did not know that.
Yeah, The Adventures of Jake Slade was before Romancing the Stone. And if you go and watch it, you're like, this is Jack's character in Romancing the Stone, totally like from head to toe. But yeah, do you remember Adventures of Jake Slade by chance? Oh,
I never.
I turned you on to Hawk the Slayer, remember? And I don't know if you ever watched it. You go watch Adventures of Jake Slade, and you'll love it, dude. And the girl from, do you remember Erin Gray from Buck Rogers? Remember her? Beady, 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 what a body.
Yeah, yeah.
And how hot she was. Okay, well, there was a girl who looked just like her, and it was called Once Bitten, and it was Jim Carrey's first movie where a female vampire seduces him and tries to bite him 3 times. Did you ever see it with Jim Carrey?
No.
Okay, the girl in that is his love interest, and she is smoking hot. She's like Erin Gray at 20 years old in Once Bitten. The point is that that's her second movie and only movie is Adventures of Jake Slade, and she is fantastic in it. So go watch the movie. It's great. Okay, good.
All right, Adventures of Jake Slade. Got it.
Yeah. A Jewel of the Nile, meh.
No, Romancing the Stone was awesome.
Yeah, Jewel of the Nile disappointed me because the whole thing was seeing the stone, man. Like you, that was it. Like you got to see the treasure. So when you hear Jewel of the Nile, you're like, okay, we're going to see this giant jewel and it's a guy. And I'm kind of like, this is stupid. I did like the F-16 part. That was well done. I mean, it's one of my favorite planes of all time. So that was in the movie. Just not a huge fan of Jewel of the Nile. Jewel of the Nile was okay. It was okay. It did not have the flavor of Romancing the Stone. That's it. Okay, let's go. Sorry. This is what we do, folks. Good. This is what we do. It's what we do.
Fun.
We try to. $140, folks. It's where we're at. That's a good thing to be at, not even the halfway point of the show. This is what we like to see. So if you have a chance, please continue to donate. Let's get into some of the heavy lifting here. Pete Hegseth.
Yes.
Hell
of a speech, right?
Yeah, it was a fantastic speech. And I just want to show you a very small part of it where he talks about fat generals. And listen, you don't talk to a general or an admiral in this way. They're not used to this type of dialogue. Maybe if they become the Joint Chiefs, that they may hear this from a president. But most admirals, they don't get publicly scolded. Like, they may hear from a 3-star or a 2-star, but it's going to be behind closed doors. The fact that,
speaking, these are the people that are at the top of their game, and everyone who has to interface with them on the daily is there because they're subservient in some way.
Right. And so if a SecDef, which is really an honorary position, let's just be completely honest. There's no military requirement for a SecDef. They don't have to be in the military, and Pete Hegseth is, but it's not required. And there have been Secretary of Defenses who have not served in the military. But it's more of an honorary position of titles and nobility, if you will. But the interesting thing is that he just, this honestly looks like a command meeting where everyone is going to hear what the future is going to bring, and either you're getting on the bus or you're getting off. And
right,
it's interesting, and he commanded respect. And I want to talk about the stoicism at the end, where people are going to be like, oh, well, they didn't applaud, and I'll explain that. Leeroy will explain that. Then actually, stoicism is one of the highest forms of respect that you can get in the military. But let's watch this, and then we can talk a little bit about that. And I'm sorry for the little bit of lag in our transfer. I don't know what's going on, but there's some lagging happening, but it doesn't matter. Here we go.
It's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test.
Wow. So
it's tiring to look out at.
All right, we got it. The next video, we have an exclusive to that we got a piece of, and this is right after the meeting where Pete took a tour of a local Marine Corps detachment and decided to go ahead and set the standard even more. Here it is.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f*** is that? What is that, General Pyle?
Sir, jelly donuts, sir.
A jelly donut?
Sir, yes, sir.
How did it get here?
Drop it hard.
So, listen, I'm just going to say this. First classing your PFT is really easy. And even if you're out of shape, most people can do the 1.5 miles and suck it up. And they've learned over time to their body, they negotiate for more with their body and they push through it. And same thing with the push-ups and sit-ups, okay? First classing a PFT is not hard.
Matt will tell you that I am not in the best shape of anybody's life. I am a shape. It is mostly round. That being said, I've been in for 22 years now and have never failed one, ever.
Yeah,
So,
there's a difference between out of shape and no shape. Okay, so don't look at Leeroy and say, "Listen, if Leeroy grabbed you by the throat, you're going to want to try to figure out how to get out of that as fast as humanly possible because he's not a weak man." There's a strength that people have when they're ex-military, and most of them have a lot of muscle underneath that physique and that exterior. So don't kid yourself. But there are people in the military who are literally human thumbs, and they're horrible, and they can't pass their PT test. And every time they get unqualled, they get pushed again and pushed again. And then what happens is they get kicked over to a new duty station, and they get through failing, and then they get their new duty station, and they didn't out-process these people because recruiting numbers are so bad. And what Pete and team are saying is, we're not going to re-up you. You're going to fail. We're going to give you another chance to pass, and then if you fail again, you're out. That's it. You get two-time loser, man. And honestly, if you fail within one enlistment cycle more than once, you're fired. That's it. You get one chance to make it up, and then if you fail another one for the rest of your service, you're done. Unless you have a medical reason, that's completely different, and we understand that.
They issue waivers for that.
Right, and there's waivers for a lot of things. But the point is, that's through a doctor, not you, because you've decided to pound pizzas and drink beer all day, and you think syrup is a condiment, and on everything. Like, oh, I'm gonna have a steak. Let's put some syrup on that. That'll top grade it for us. So this isn't a bad thing. Here is another video of Pete, all kidding aside. And this one is truly what I thought was just fantastic. And then I'm gonna show you one more and then we'll be good. Here it is. Weird. I don't know why it's lagging. It's weird.
This administration has done a great deal from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department, to rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that.
Drop it hard.
So here is the last one, and I want you guys to watch very closely, and I will explain what's happening here.
Move out and draw fire. Because
No, Thomas, syrup is not a condiment. It is a flavorful snack used to be in moderation. Like you want to put ketchup and mustard all day long, that's fine. But there is a limit to the amount of syrup you can put on your food. At least I think there should be. High fructose corn syrup is a killer. So it is a condiment legally. I just don't think it's something that you should do an overabundance of. Like when people literally just coat their pancake where to the point where they cut into the pancake and it's like a sponge and it's full of, it's just so unhealthy. I'm just
right. If you're going to go and try and pull from the Elf movie, is there sugar and syrup? Then yes, you're putting he's putting on a pasta. Right. Like, don't do that. That's gross.
Yeah, it's a condiment. Fine, it is a condiment. One that should be sparse and few and far between. Unless you have unless you have like real maple syrup that's not high fructose corn syrup like we do, then great, go at it, have fun. But still, you don't want to go into a diabetic coma.
Right. Are the War Department. Godspeed.
Attention.
Okay. So what just happened there? What does it mean? Troop, attention. What does it mean?
Move out.
Well,
so go ahead, Leeroy. Tell everybody.
When you get called to attention, your hands are at your sides. You are looking straight forward. And generally speaking, your fingertips run along the seams of your pants. So it is a type of facing maneuver where you are ready for instruction. So it is completely inappropriate to clap at a time like that. It's not that we're being defiant or showing some sort of political, nothing like that. That is a military maneuver that says, all right, I am not moving.
Stoicism is the utmost form of respect in a command to attention, which means and feet at 45 degrees, eyes straight forward, chin on the level and ready, and making sure your gig line is straight, and you look forward and you come to attention. He's right. Clapping is not.
And at that point, the only people that would, the only time that ends is when you hear the command dismissed.
Yeah.
Or
at ease. Yeah, or fallout, dismissed, at ease, if it's going to continue. But you show respect when a superior officer comes into a room. And the SecDef is the superior officer, and so is the POTUS. So when Secretary of War, so it's Sec War is what, it's not going to be SecDef, it's Sec War. Great. Right. So when Sec War leaves, you stand at attention. So now, if they were talking or people were slow to get up, now that's a sign of disrespect. But very similar to the military doesn't stand up during the State of the Unions unless it's military topic. So if they talk about military having some action or some sort of operation that took place, they'll stand up. Like when Osama bin Laden was whacked and Obama talked about it in the State of the Union, they all stood up and applauded. That's when you do it, when it's about you. Otherwise, you just sit down and shut up. So This is not anything new. Parade rest, at ease. Well, they wouldn't do parade rest because they're going to go in a sitting position. So at ease is what they would say, not parade rest.
Generally, you're not going to do that in an auditorium either.
Unless you have another person of high command coming in, then you're going to stay at an at ease and then pop two when he goes ahead and calls attention. So it just depends. It doesn't matter. The point is, if you're in the military, you understand what I'm saying. If you're a civilian, just trust us when we say stoicism is the highest form of compliment when it comes to military people when attention is called. Okay, good, great. Yes, do not lock your knees during attention. I can't tell you how many people took face plants in boot and SEP. I mean, I'm not kidding. And they're like, don't lock your knees. I'm like, nobody's gonna faint. But dude, we would just said
people would do it.
We must have had like 25 people hit the deck, but it was Chicago, Illinois. Summer. WR32 donated $20 in Super Chat regarding SecDef being an honorary position. Do people who serve in that position wear military dress? No. I mean, former PA Department of Health Secretary Rachel Veen never served but wore dress blue. Is that normal? Well, here's the thing. There are provisions where a person who is a civilian will annotate or acquire certain military rankings, and this comes back to World War II. Pickering comes to mind. A real human being, was recruited because was a CEO, was a bank financier, and was recruited and drafted into the military with a civilian rank and never went to boot camp, but acquired military ranking and could wear the accolades of military rank and insignia based upon their level and experience in civilian society that would translate and correlate into the military. Now, that is something that's not often done anymore, but it is for certain positions. And Surgeon General and health advocacy or any type of that type of stuff still does those honorary type military appointments with rank and titles all transferring. And that starts from World War II. Rachel Levine was never in the military and is an example of this. If I did that, I would never wear a military uniform, ever, because I didn't earn it. And but this person plays dress up for a living. They think they're a woman. So, like playing soldier or seaman, or naval officer is not a far cry when they literally think that they're a girl. Anything you want to chime on that?
No. How the person dresses when they're in that position, I don't care. I only care about the policies being put forth.
Okay. Real quick. Wanted to clarify one thing. So specifically, the U.S. Assistant Secretary of Health holds the rank of Admiral in the U.S. Public Health Service. That's why she wears military-style uniform. It's a commission corps, and it's the same thing. It's one of the nation's 8 uniformed services alongside the Army, Navy, Air Force, blah, blah, blah. It's not a branch of the military in the combat sense, but it's structured like officers' ranks uniform. And they used to do this for Treasury, is military people would come in, and they would get a commission through, they would get a military commission through Treasury. So this happens with medical and health professionals, like I said. Back in World War II, it was you bankers and CEOs and people in the finance industry would come in, and they would get commissions in the corps as military officers, and it would translate. And it's very similar to people with degrees. Like if you have a doctorate in the civilian sector, you might come in higher than a second LT. They might give you a rank. Well, it depends if it's the Navy or the Army, but they might bring you in as an 04 or 05 based upon your experience. If you come into the military, especially back in World War II, now it's a little bit different. But if you got a 4-year degree and you come in, you're going to be a standard officer because that's required. But if you've got a doctorate and you're coming in, you might find yourself being in the 02, 03 ranks before you even leave your A school. Go ahead, Leeroy.
What's funny about that is that occasionally we will have seen some people like a lieutenant commander or even a commander who have never seen a boot camp, have never done anything like that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're guaranteed that rank after they've, gone through their fork and knife school and all of that crap. But they've never marched.
They've never knife school.
Yeah.
People don't know what that means. Will you explain it to them so they know what it means?
The officer school. It's where they learn how to eat cake properly.
Grooming. It's grooming. It basically teaches them how to be pomp and circumstance, like the royals with the powdered wigs.
And so it really is kind of comical sometimes when you see somebody who is like a newly minted commander, and he doesn't know necessarily, not only does he not know how to march, he doesn't know how to give the proper facing commands. He doesn't know how to do any of the basic stuff that your average recruit would know how to do. And it's a little bit funny sometimes. Not gonna lie.
And that's like when you see officers, they'll be doing this with their salute, or, like this. And, and they wear their cap, so their gig line basically looks like the San Andreas Fault, and you're just like, and those are the people. I mean, there's different types of salutes, right? There's morning, sir.
Yeah.
And then that's
your casual
morning, sir.
That's somebody with some zip on it. Yeah.
And you put a zip on that salute, it's someone you respect. But like the low level lieutenant junior grade who would come in and literally just like make us shine shoes and like paint the freaking bulkhead. And not let us have weekend liberty and get us off or cut man down to 1/3 of our normal staffing when we're in port. That's the guy that gets morning, sir.
Or it could just be somebody you know really well too. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, I guess, but Yeah, I don't know. Like I always gave snappy salutes to officers who earned it, and I always gave the fingered salute, where your middle finger is like prominently pointed out, and you're just like, sir, just a little.
Oh, you ever watch Band of Brothers, like that ending scene with the captain, and it was the guy who went from like a lieutenant.
Oh
to
yeah,
integrator
yeah.
and
Oh
ensign.
yeah, the guy who was in Friends. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
That was
and he
great.
corrected him real quick. He was like, Captain Sobel.
He's
We
like,
salute the rank, not the man.
right here, baby. Suck on that. Suck on those epaulets right here,
And
pumpkin.
that's-
Right here,
And that's
pumpkin.
when Schwimmer does his thing, and you're like, all right.
Yeah, and I know you salute the rank, but it doesn't matter. Especially overseas sailors, you got to get laxed overseas when you get deployed.
Really do.
The fleet navy and the shore navy are two different things. Two different things. There is a code of conduct in fleet that is very different than shore, and you better learn it, because when you go out to fleet, your ass will get like, that's where the blanket parties happen. That's when you get tossed overboard on an 80-foot deck. Things like that. Fleet Navy's different.
Well, accidents happen.
Right. He slipped, sir, for the 7th time. Yes, sir. Well, he's on the flight deck. I thought he was banned from the flight. I have no idea. He must have been sleepwalking, sir.
I don't know what happened?
I wasn't there. I have no idea. So yeah. You salute the rank, but it doesn't matter. Anybody who's in the military outside of the Marine Corps knows what I mean. The difference. Marine Corps is just completely different. Listen, I've locked in step with many Marines walking to and from. We were on an LCC, and I was always shit tight with them, always. And they always gave me. They're just like, you're squared away, shit hot. You got your stuff. And I always got respect from the Marine Corps, because I always was dialed in, had Marine Corps father, and they were straight elbow. They were always knife hand. It was always a pop. And that's the Marine Corps. So whenever I was with Marines, I respected the Marines I was with. And if they were doing pop too, and they were given that sharp salute, I would always respect in turn, especially if I didn't know the person. But there are times when you have someone in your command who is a shitbag, and you do not pop as normal as you usually do. And if you say you didn't, then I don't know. I don't believe you. Go ahead, Leeroy.
I have a few friends who are in the mess, and one of them is this dude named Rob. Rob is a great dude. I have never seen this guy lose his cool, ever. And this is not that long ago. So when you're talking about like the difference between fleet and shore, it leaks out occasionally. Like you can tell who's been out. And we were watching some of the chief selects at the time. They were waiting for some instruction. One of my friends, maybe should have been paying a little bit closer attention, and was just kind of going off a little bit. And he just wasn't being respectful of the instruction that was being given via cell phone. So for the first time ever, I saw Rob tee off and I was like, oh my God, it was great, because Kevin looked at him and he just started running his mouth, and Rob just immediately, who's talking to you? Right. And just blasted him. And we're like, oh shit. Like,
right.
Is this really happening? Are we doing this? Is this? It was so good.
It's shore duty and fleet it's a different experience. And the Marine Corps is different on fleet. The Marines are awesome in fleet. They're nice, and shore Marines are always like, screw the Navy. You don't hear fleet Marines say that. You just don't hear it. And there's a respect that's, and I'm not saying there's not inter-service rivalry between the Marine Corps, but trust me, no Army or Air Force guys talk shit about fleet sailors when a Marine is around. No. Like they will rip apart Air Force and Army guys. The Marines the adage would be, only we get to talk crap about our taxi drivers, our Uber drivers. You don't say anything. If you either slap some respect on that. I've seen a few Marines stare down NCOs in the Marine Corps who came from shore and were disrespectful, and Marines squared them away real quick. Real quick. That's Petty Officer Second Class Spear. You show some respect. I'm going to knock your dick right in the dirt. I mean, Marines don't mess around. I love Marines. I don't speak ill of our green crayon eating friends.
No, they're really, really great guys. It's pretty rare when you'd find a situation where I might talk shit about another service. Um, but of all of the stories, I can't think of a single bad one that has ever come out of the Marine Corps. They are generally pretty fucking awesome dudes.
Yeah, no, the completely respect.
Sorry if I swore.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's the fact is that I'm not doing it. So anyway, that's it. I've nothing disrespect. Shore Marines are different than Fleet Marines. That's all I'll tell you. Because Fleet Marines love corpsmen. They generally like the intel guys. They like CBs.
CBs are awesome.
Yeah, they love the shopkeepers. I mean, it's Navy. They understand their support, and those Marines have been doing it for 200 and quarter some odd years, and there's a respect. But that inter-service rivalry is between the Navy. But don't ever go to a Marine. He's like, oh, you're in the Navy because you're Department of the Navy. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. But Air Force guys have big mouths. And they need to tone it down around the Marine Corps and the Navy. It's because they get lippy and they think, because they eat lobster every night and play golf 24 hours and 7 days a week, that there's a little resentment when we get back from a 6-month deployment and we've been having powdered milk and powdered eggs for 6 months. We're ready for you to show a little respect. Okay. All right.
I'm kind of scrolling one of the rooms that I belong to, and just right now everyone is trying to figure out what the repercussions are, what the fallout is for what was brought out today from Pete Hegseth. Like, people are asking, so
how many people are going to be out?
Do they have to do 1 PFA per year? Because the last instruction said it was 2, 1 PRT, but maybe 2 BCAs. And like, we're still trying to figure out where the chips are going to land. A lot of people don't know.
I think this is a headwind.
Yeah,
and the people who have tailwind are going to be fine, and the people who continue to have headwind are going to move and they'll be gone.
Yeah.
They're either going to lose their commands, or they're going to be flagged down, or down flag, or something else. Right? If they lose their commands, they're no longer flag officers. Bubba says SEPTA Fallujah Airmen. No, I'm not knocking. No, hold on a second. Combat's different. Like, you got shore, you got fleet, then you got combat.
Give me 1 second.
So yeah, no disrespect. I mean, I know some Air Force tail gunners that saw some serious shit. Serious shit.
I have to get a hold of the
a lot of respect.
time card people, and
I'm going to mute him up so he can talk freely. Okay, so one question. Somebody had: air guys that sail don't diss sailors. No, but it's the new ones that come in who don't know any better. That's my point.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem. Or we would go into Yokohama and, you get the Air Force guys who just brand new off the boat. And most Air Force, like most sergeants and techs, NCOs will square them away. But you get these new people on the boat, and then you get into the PX, or you get into the Navy bar, and we're all sharing the same bar, and they come in and they're, all shit hot, talking about the 13 buttons on our blues, our Marine Corps serving platters, and you're going to get your butt kicked. So it's like I said, difference between deployment and shore, different.
Yeah.
Different. There's a lot of animosity on shore where this inter-service rivalry is all machismo, but in the fleet, it's just different. These are your brothers. You're literally sharing units with them. I mean, you're eating with them, you're working with them side by side. It's just a different world. And I'm not knocking on the Air Force. I'm just saying shore Air Force is a little bit different than deployed Air Force. What?
Tim Dinnigan says, I'm a Gator sailor and a BM3. Hey, Tim, good to see you, brother. Good on you.
Mate. I'll tell you what, boats, salt of the earth, man. Anybody can be a boatswain's mate. They are the best. And anyone who could do that job and not bitch, some of the most loyal people I've ever met in my life. They just do their job, and they do all the shit jobs that nobody else wants to do. And a lot of people disrespect BMs, and I don't. One of my best friends was a BM, and now he is a senior chief in intelligence. Did he make master? No, he's still senior chief. No? Yeah, he's senior chief.
Who dat?
Tom Bonafide. Out of Florida, Treasure Island, Florida. Thomas Bonafide.
He's a Intel senior chief.
Yeah. Yeah. Reservist now. Take a look. See if you can find it.
What is it?
Bonafede, Bonafede. He might be retired now. Bro, that was 26 years ago. So he might very well be retired. You got, no, not 26 years ago, like the same time I was in. So he's 50 plus.
Oh, okay.
Now. He's 50 plus now.
So am I.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He may be retired now. But yeah, he was going to go into politics. But one of my best friends at Intel, and we were in Yokosuka together. But he made senior and was still Intel. But he was a boatswain's mate, and he went to the fleet and as a BM. And then he went through IS and went through A school and C school, and still had a BM rank until he graduated A school. And he made it from boatswain's mate to intelligence. And he was a shit hot intelligence guy. I mean, squared away. Good looking guy. You always want to go party with Bonafede because he pulled all the ass. Just a good looking guy. Yoked, tall.
That's an asset right there.
Yeah, just go look. See if he's still in. I don't even know. I haven't seen him in we kind of had a little falling out, but go look. We didn't have a falling out. It just, he's very religious. And I think he was, you know what, actually, I think last time I heard he was getting into ministry. So he may be out. Go check. I mean, his name is in the halls, dude. I guarantee it. People know who he is.
Yeah.
Hi, Mel. What's going on?
Okay, terminology. They're not boatswain's mates. They're bosun's mates.
Whatever.
Take the T out of it.
I don't care. Anyway, okay, thanks, Mel. Appreciate it. Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, no, about the sailors and the air, it is different. And you're right. When everybody goes to sea together and sails together for a long, or even one trip, it changes their whole mindset and their attitude. Yes. And when the new guys come on board, they get their education and they get their real quick, and they understand that, yeah, we all work together. And if it wasn't for the guys that work downstairs, you guys upstairs people aren't getting your food, you aren't getting your laundry, and your planes ain't flying. So let's all have a nice day. And it all works out.
Real quick, Mel, did I say boatswain's mates or boatswain's mates?
You said boatswain's mates.
No, I want you to check it. I want you to go back and play it, because I'm pretty confident. Boatswain's mate is what I say. No, now, that could be wrong.
Take the T out.
I understand. Wait a second. Hold on a second. You're saying that I'm saying boatswain's mate, and I don't believe I said boatswain's mate. I believe I said boatswain's mate. So it's the S first, and then the pronunciation of the T. How do you say it, Leeroy? Boatswain's?
Boats.
No, there's no T.
Maybe in Canada, but not here.
England and whatever. We take the T out because in our abbreviation, bosun is
that's correct.
That's
apostrophe N, and we take the T out because
right, but that's Canada stuff. I'm not in the Canadian Navy.
Well, it's not. It's just not whatever. But anyways, it's one of those. It's one of those. I'm going to like my naval verbiage and yours is different, but we don't call. It's the same as we don't say corpsman. It's corpsman.
Corpsman.
It's corpsman.
For the medics, like we don't put the P in there. It's not corpsman.
We don't say corpsman. That's universal because that's the word. You don't say corpsman. Nobody says corpsman. Right. It's always corpsman.
But I mean,
Obama
Canada is a little bit
Obama's an idiot.
Like you have to agree.
Yeah, so,
if you were to, we see titanium and you guys say like titanium
or aluminium.
Aluminium, yeah,
that's English.
No, we say aluminum.
I know you do. But
aluminum,
but
titanium.
I understand what you're saying, but that's Canada.
I know.
In the United States Navy, it's boatswain's mate. Or you can say boatswain's mate. It depends. I've heard it both ways, but boatswain's mate is what I usually say. But occasionally, that's where I thought maybe you heard me say the other, and that's completely possible.
No.
Because West Coast and East Coast do say it a little bit differently, surprisingly enough. You get that East Coast Jersey type, I've heard it both ways, but not bosun mate. I've never heard of that.
No, because the trade is spelled out the same way as you guys spell it out in your designations in your trades, whatever. We just take the T out of it and make it bosun. So it's easy. So to say boat when mate, got very cumbersome, so it's bosunate. So, and it's the same as corpsman.
That's fair.
You don't pronounce the P, you just take the P
Yeah,
out.
well, I'm aware of
It
that because
becomes
that's how you
silent.
pronounce the word. That's the history of the word. You don't call. You may say Marine Corps. It's not Marine Corps. A corpse is CORPSE. So the pronunciation of corps is always that way. As far as boatswain's mate, that it's always been boatswain's mate. Now, I was West Coast. I was hold on a second.
Shit.
Tom, no, maybe, but Tom says no because this is like the apple pie thing and pineapple on pizza. You started this, so you got to finish it. Tom Shin says, Matt, I agree with Mel, but I was a West Coast. I was a West Coast sailor. So was I. I served on both coasts. I've served with multiple fleets, and I have never heard it called bosun mate, ever.
Yep.
Ever. Every command, every whatever, never. I've always, I've heard.
Well, I know.
I've heard bosun
version.
version
We have
of
a
it.
lot of.
Go ahead.
We have,
The
we have a lot
shorthand
of
version.
Yank boats. Yeah. Go ahead, Leeroy.
The shorthand
Leeroy,
version of this
go.
has always been boats. Like you would just say, hey,
Boats.
BM3 or
Boats.
right?
It's boats. Always boats.
But I actually have heard bosun mates.
I've heard bosun mates too, but I haven't heard it in a formality where anyone has said,
Right.
hey, you have to say bosun mates. They may call themselves bosun mates, but it's not us, and it's not General Navy. It's not Fleet. Nobody says it. So it's like BB stackers. What's a BB stacker? Mel?
A BB stacker?
What's a BB stacker?
We don't have that.
Okay.
Don't have that in my.
See what I'm saying? But every single ordnanceman, AO, will tell you that BB stackers
Well,
is...
I was going to say it's a gun bunny thing, but
Right.
that would have been my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you ask, like machinist mates, so everyone everyone has their little, and they call IS when they're talking shit about us, they call us yeoman because our rank insignia looks very similar to yeoman. So there's little nuances, but it's not like if you open up the 750,000 acronym book, yes, it'll be there.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, but you know that. Okay, good. Listen,
no, because it's actually kind of funny because right now I'm redoing a marine terminology rewrite for a paper that was done with what I'm doing right now, and having to go in and do a whole bunch of corrections and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, acronyms mean a lot of different things.
Yes.
So
yeah.
when
You're right.
change-
You're right. Agree with you. Listen, serving overseas and working with British SAS or Royal Marines is a different experience than working with Marine Corps in fleet or, FMF or shore. And working with IDF is different than working with regular Army. Everyone has their different little names and acronyms. My point was, I've never been corrected in all my time in the military. And I think Leeroy can tell you his time in the military where someone said it's not boatswain or it's not boatswain, it's bosun. I don't think I've never heard that. I'm just telling you. That's all I'm saying. You're the first person. Go figure. It's a Canuck. Go figure.
The only time I've ever been corrected was when I was told, no, that's a dude. Funny.
That was Bali. That was Bali.
That was in Thailand.
Your abbreviation, your abbreviation for bosun is different than our. You use the M, we use the N.
Yeah. BM.
So for bosun in our military, it's BN.
Got it.
And yours,
Gotcha.
you're using that.
Okay, so you guys do it wrong.
So-
That's cool. We understand.
No, we don't.
So we get it.
We've been doing it for 200 years. So
Yeah,
it is what it is. So,
but a tugboat and 3 guys in YMCA outfits is not the Navy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So good.
shall we sing? No.
Right?
Anyways, but yeah, no. In our whatever, and you can look it up, and you.
I
will
believe
see
you. I don't need to
BN
look it up. I agree with you. I've heard bosun. I've heard the term. I've absolutely heard the term.
You know, it's funny, Matt. The fact that they call sometimes they call ISs YNs. That's because the rates photographic intelligencemen and YN were combined at some point to make
World War
ISs.
II.
That was 1975.
Yep. Post World War II. Yep. But the insignias look very similar, and I can't tell you how many times people said, "Oh, you're a yeoman," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a yeoman. Yeah, I'm a yeoman."
Sure.
Mel, thank you.
So you should.
Go ahead.
You should be really good at YMCA then if you're a yeoman. Oh.
Yeah. Well, no, we're just good at YMCA altogether because listen, whatever happens deployed stays deployed. Just saying.
Of course it does.
You're not gay if you're deployed.
100%.
You're not gay if you're deployed.
No.
All right.
You're just desperate then.
Yeah, we are. Folks, we'll be right back.
Rather be deployed than at home.
Oh.
Rather be at sea than ashore.
I couldn't stand deploy it. I hated it. Oh my God, I hated it.
I loved it.
I'm glad.
the opposite.
I'm glad you liked it, Leeroy.
I loved being at sea.
Oh, I hated being at sea.
Yeah.
I love the ports and I love the work, but I hated being at sea because I'm claustrophobic.
6 on, 6 off, 12 on, 12 off kind of thing.
I don't mind that.
Oh,
I don't mind any of that. It's literally claustrophobic. I can't, dude. The racks. I'm 6 foot.
not.
I'm 6'4". Come on, those racks are.
But you go out on the upper deck, and you've got the whole world in front of you.
Yeah.
Every day and whatever, it's all different.
No, I love that. I'm not saying that.
Oh my God,
you're not listening to me, Navy people. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. I can't stand being in a coffin.
He's a big dude.
I can't turn over. You can't roll over in those things. You have to get out of your fucking bunk to roll over. It sucked. I'm 6'4". My knees were literally against the wall every time I got in my rack.
It
was horrible.
Put you on the top rack is actually.
Don't go to submarine. Yeah.
No, I did TDY on several subs, and it sucked just as bad.
Well, of course.
Completely.
Don't go to subs.
I just said. I just didn't like the claustrophobic feeling of my rack, and that kind of. And let's face it, when you're on the fleet, you don't get in that rack very often. Let's just be honest. Especially if you're doing. Well, it depends. It depends what you're doing, but most of the time, depending upon what part of your journey you're in and what you're doing, but. I didn't like that part of being deployed. But the ports,
if you got 4 hours in your rack, you were spoiled. So
depending upon what we were doing, yes. There were times that we got 12 off. I mean, but not all the time. Not all the time. Okay, so you guys like it because you're small. You're small. You're midgets.
No, we just like it because we like the water.
No.
We like being
I don't like the water.
Yeah.
I love the water. There's nothing like sunsets. I saw iridescent algae in the Sea of Japan. I got to see it past our wake. I've seen the most beautiful things on Snoopy Team. I can't even tell you to watch the sun was up while other people are watching it set. Is one of the greatest feelings in the world. I love chopper rides to mainland to go play rugby. I love being deployed. I can't stand sleeping in the shitty rack, and it ruined deployment for me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You're a princess. Have a nice day.
Whatever. Fucking bosun.
Bye, Mel.
It's bosun.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mel.
Oh, I love inter service. They're cute, aren't they? Canadians, they're cute.
For the first time ever, I think, at least in my recorded history, I got to sign somebody else's charge book who was a Coast Guard. So a friend of mine who made Coast Guard chief, and they asked me to sign his charge book. I thought that was kind of cool.
6'4" is not meant for tankers, and it's not meant for racks. Just let you know. And bulkheads. Oh, dude, do you know how many times I smacked the living crap out of my forehead? Because when I was down ladder, it was always like this.
Yeah,
I was walking sideways, and I can't tell you how many porthole chains people would leave unsecured.
Yeah.
Knock myself silly coming down sideways, and I hit that.
You really, the optimal height for somebody who's in the Navy, especially in any of the submarines,
6'5'8".
No, I'm going to say 5'5" is about perfect.
Yeah. I don't know why people say I would have hated subs. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. Though. That's a private conversation. So if you want to talk about any of that, we can have that conversation offline. I'll be happy to have that conversation with you. But anyway, moving on. Let's do this, folks. We're at $140. $40. $100 was given by Deirdre right on. We're gonna miss goal. It's 2032. It looked promising, and then we stalled out. We need to do a commercial. Listen to this. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. Not that one. That's not the one. Don't watch this one. That's the wrong one. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations. But after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so frickin' I can't do it. I can't untighten it.
That's what she said.
That's what she's. Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound.
Child gas 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Told the tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm gonna punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old? Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
Better at
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh yeah, cut it.
Baby shark doo 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 doo.
Yes, thank you for your support, folks. We are 100% funded by our viewers, and we have been now for about 2 years after Facebook defunded us. So we used to have a fairly good sponsor, and we've decided to move on from that. So we're funded by you guys. We haven't raised our asking for donations, and it all is voluntary. You can watch the show free of charge all the time. We don't put anything behind a paywall. We just ask that if you have the ability, maybe once a month, say, here, this is what we want to help you out with, and we think you're worth it. All those donations go back into the show. It pays for lights, it pays for software, it pays for the streaming services, it does all of that, and it helps our show grow and expand. And this studio, which you folks did an amazing job helping us achieve, literally, you guys created this. So we're very appreciative of that. And everything you see here is paid for by you. And we can't thank you enough. And although Leeroy isn't in here with us, he's in here in spirit and will be soon, so we can come see it. Did you ever go under in a sub?
Yeah.
How long?
It was just a day or two.
Yeah, mine was same thing. Mine was TDY. So our experiences, yeah, it's
mine was on
nerve-wracking.
a Los Angeles class. It was the Oklahoma City, and that was in my Mediterranean cruise in '95.
That's interesting. Yeah, so you were deployed. I was stateside and was Norfolk. So interesting. Subs are small and they're not fun for guys like my size. And I agree. Everything you would hate a sub. Yeah, and I would also hate a frigate, and I would hate a destroyer, and I'd hate an aircraft carrier because all the racks are the same and they suck. Yeah. So can't stand it. Can't stand it. But listen, some people complain about certain things in the Navy. Some people complain about the food. Some people complain about being at sea. Some people complain about the smells and diesel. And I just couldn't fit in a rack.
PT standards, Pete Hegseth. I'm kidding.
With that jelly donut. Here is, folks. Like I said, donations. If we can get those going, it's 2037. Hate to bring it up again. Here is a video of ICE. Federal agents in a Chicago building. This is interesting. I want you to look at this because they did a rooftop insertion here, and I don't know why it's lagging. Take a look at this.
300 federal officials to that apartment complex. Some even rappelled down from Blackhawks onto the rooftop in order to help secure that perimeter. Now, they were searching for suspected members of the violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua. Of course, TDA has been designated as a terrorist organization under the Trump administration. Now, it was the biggest show of force that we've ever seen on the ground here. We had agencies, FBI, Border Patrol, ICE, and ATF all involved here, and they were all looking for targets in that same exact building. It was a
Mike, or Brian Scott, we've walked you through this, I don't know, 100 times. I don't know, brother. If you can't, don't worry about it. But we've answered you, I can't even tell you how many times, about donations. So it's really easy. thedumbshow.com/donate. And you go to PayPal, you go to Venmo, you put in your credit card, and you can donate. So if it's not something you can do, don't worry about it. But we've answered this question 100 times.
5-story building. It was a tall task for them, and anything could have gone wrong. But luckily, the operations went pretty smoothly. Preliminary reports show that about 30 illegal immigrants were arrested in this operation, some of them suspected Tren de Aragua. Now, we talked with Chief Gregory Bovino, who's running the operations on the ground for many of these ops in Chicago, and he had some words for people that are pushing back against his operations. Take a listen.
How about you live in the apartment next door to Tren de Aragua members that are trafficking and prostitution, guns, drugs, and taking advantage of American citizens in a violent way? Why don't you live next to them and then see how much of a Gestapo or a Nazi we are?
Wow. Taking the fight to the idiot leftists. But this is, I mean, rappelling from choppers on the top of buildings. This isn't your grandma's ICE, and they're getting military
fangs now. Yeah,
they're getting military training. They're getting military assistance. Good.
I've seen dozens and dozens of comments ever since Trump got into office, but all basically fearful of the same thing, that we're going to now fall to authoritarianism or to this Gestapo state, or that, when they started deploying National Guard to several cities, it was the same types of comments all over again. And I just keep thinking to myself, the one that teed everyone off, Mel Lowe with 103.48 to the Bosun mate out
to the
there.
Bosun, like
Bose
lozenges.
speakers?
Bose speakers, mates.
Yes.
That'd be 2 pairs.
2 pair.
Thank you, Mel. We love you, honey.
Thank you, Mel. And the idea was that, like, people were freaking out, like when we struck that boat that was full of the narco terrorists, but people are like, where was their what do they call it? Due process. Right. And so it's interesting that people will resort to that kind of language after these people have been already designated narco terrorists. And so if you were afraid of authoritarianism, right, before or during Trump's administration, then you should have been fighting tooth and nail to keep the government as small as humanly possible.
Right.
But you didn't do that.
Right.
You voted for Democrat time after time after time. What did you think was going to happen when you gave the government too much power? This isn't our fault. This is yours.
Daniel, thanks for subscribing, and everyone who's subscribing on YouTube. Our YouTube channel has just absolutely blown the hell up. I think we're ready to hit 4,000 followers. Folks, to give you some perspective, in almost 5 years, we were sitting at 1,200. So we have several videos that have went to the millions. Threads, we're ready to hit 1,000 followers. Instagram, we're very close to 4,000. YouTube is going up. So we're growing on all channels. So if you are on any of those channels, come and see us. The only one that's not growing is Rumble, but Rumble's impossible to grow on. You if you're far right, you'll be very successful. If you're not, they don't want middle of the road Republicans. But anyway, we would appreciate if you have a chance to follow. Also, we're sitting at 243 to goal. I would love to hit it by 9 o'clock. So can we just crush this damn thing and move on? Lisa Murkowski, you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
She is saying that she's considering leaving the Republican Party and becoming a Democrat. Good. Who cares? All you're doing is changing a letter. You already vote Democrat with everything. You hate Trump. So stop pretending. Just be a Democrat. We already know what you are. Now let's get Thomas Massie out of there. Let's get Rand Paul out of there. Let's get Murkowski. Let's get Collins out of there. Let's get everyone who votes against Republican initiatives. Get them the hell out of there. and then primary the hell out of them and replace them with Republicans. I'm sick of this stuff. That's it.
I don't know, man. Let people identify how they want to identify, and if the votes just so happen to fall their way, then have at it. What I dislike is this idea that, hey, I'm going to support the American, taxpayer in this fashion. Then you you come up with a list of topics that you promise that you're going to back your supporters with. I'm going to vote for lower drug care costs, or whatever the case is, whatever your policies are. Then when they get into office, they do the exact opposite. That pisses me off.
Isn't that what I just said?
I don't know, man. Just because you say that you're a Republican,
right?
Then maybe you vote in a lot of Democrat ways. We have to make the distinction there between what are the policies that they said that they were going to support.
Every single one of Trump's policies, because they're a Republican. You follow, if you run as a Republican, your voting record should be predominantly Republican if you are true to your conservative values. If you're voting antithetical to Republican policy, you're not a Republican. Therefore, you're not representing the constituency in what you ran on. That's why you run under the R. But what the problem is Murkowski and Collins and these people ran under the R because they couldn't win under the D. So they go in and they run as a Republican to get in, to sound like a neutral party and have some middle of the core values and move from the left, get elected, and then continue to vote left. So I don't listen. You should never vote on your opinion. Your opinion doesn't matter. You literally are a lever monkey. And that's what every single politician should be. You go home, you talk to your constituency, you vote with what they say. If you don't do that, you're a shill. Every one of you. One thing I love about Eli Crane, he votes what his constituency wants, and he only votes what he's went against Trump. He's voted against the continuing resolution. He did not agree with the Butler findings. He has went after H-1B visas. I mean, he doesn't agree with everything Trump does, and he is a Republican. So I'm okay with that. But when you vote with Trump 14% of the time, you don't deserve to be in your seat. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, that I completely understand. That I support. And that was what I was saying, was that whatever your constituents say, however you said you were going to support them, or whatever direction that they are using, that's your barometer, right? That's how you vote. And you've already answered that with the Eli Crane example.
And the other thing is, Jason Roberts says 1,000-page bills are the problem, though. I don't care about 1,000-page bills. What I care about when there is 1,000 different initiatives in the 1,000-page bill, you see, is if a bill is going to be about appropriations, or it's going to be about border security, or it's going to be about funding of the military or cancer research, it should only be about those things. Period. Nothing else. And if it's going to be about border security and you want to do drones, or you want to do seismic, sensors, or you want to do fencing, or you want to do upgrading the infrastructure, you do it all in one bill, and it can be 1,000 pages. That's fine. I don't care. And your responsibility as a senator is to ensure that you give your body of Congress the good amount of time to read through a 1,000-page bill. In my opinion, that should be 14 days. Give them 14 days to read a 1,000-page bill. That should be fine. They got to basically knock out, 70 pages a day. That's fair. Okay, fine. But when they do this, and you have 24 hours to read a 1,000-page bill, and most of these people don't even read it and vote on it, that's crap. So it's not the 1,000-page bills. It's the millions of initiatives that have nothing to do with each other, like protecting freaking salmon farms and the gestational period of salmon. And then on the back of it, you have funding for Qatar's freaking border security. And you're like, what the flying duck fart is this? Oh, that was a good one. Duck fart.
Right, exactly. And that's what happened with the last bill. What was the big one that everyone was freaking out under Joe Biden? It was the
infrastructure. Yeah, the infrastructure bill.
Was it infrastructure, or was it
infrastructure?
Whatever the case is. To Matt's point,
the Inflation Reduction Act, but they sold it as a lot of it was infrastructure.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry,
it's crap.
Yes,
I hate that.
It's complete crap. It had nothing to do with it. I mean, it didn't stop inflation. It boomed it.
Made it worse.
Well, don't you remember they were supposed to go ahead and make internet cable cheaper? They didn't lay one line of cable because they don't. The federal government doesn't lay cable. It's actually owned by private companies. and we lease it from them. Do you know that they're in bed with Comcast? They're in bed with AT&T. They're in bed with all of the major cable providers because the United States government doesn't lay its own cable. It leases what's currently in the ground. So, Jason, I'm with you.
Sense.
Jason says that's what I meant. Good, me too. Why are bills 1,000 pages to begin with? Because legislation isn't small. Because you can't just say, we want to go ahead and give money for the border wall. Because what happens is appropriations is that you have people who will spend money on things that they're not entitled to, or they will make their own type of policy that isn't perfectly laid out. I have no problem with 1,000-page bills. I don't have a problem with it. Now, for one thing, no. Like tax code, you should have tax code on an 8.5 by 11 on the front and back, and that's it. That's what tax code should be. It should be you get something from the U.S. government. You declare your overall salary. You make sure that you're on direct auto pay. They monitor that. It comes in. They give you a thing and says, here's what you owe, and here's what you can deduct. And you write down your deductions and you subtract it from your overall pay. Right. And you declare and then you write it on the back and you punch those numbers in or you send it back to them and they say you owe this and then you pay it. That's
the problem with the tax code, and especially when they turned it into a 10,000 page document, right, is that it becomes impossible for the average person to navigate. And so we end up completely reliant on third-party services.
CPAs, software.
CPAs, lawyers, basically to defend yourself against the all-powerful government, right? And they're the ones who set up the rules. If they would have made the rules that much simpler, that would save people billions.
Or just give us a flat tax and end it.
Yeah.
Just give us everyone pays 10%. I don't care who it is. Everyone pays 10%. And if you're on EBT or you're on welfare or whatever, you still owe 10%. And you're responsible at the end of the year to find a way to get that 10% back. If you can't save 10%, then I'm sorry, but you should have to pay the government back at least 10% of what you get because it's teaching you to be fiscally responsible. I don't care. I'm not saying, I know there was I'm a government system. I have $350 a month. Then go work. I can't work. Right. Okay, well then you are collecting Social Security, right? Or you're collecting disability. There's programs for you, and you should be excluded from being taxed. But if you're on food service and supplements, there should be a time frame. It's not forever. And if you're not actively looking for a job, and if you're caught not looking for a job like on unemployment, or you're double dipping, then you lose your benefits. That's the way it should be. I don't care anymore. I don't have any. Listen, I don't have enough for my own family. I'm sick of going ahead and giving you money. Pay for your own damn way. Now, if you're hurting and you need something, everyone knows me. If somebody calls me and they say I need something, I'm going to take care of them. Leeroy's offered me money before. I would give him money if he asked me. That's different. But this whole permanent welfare society crap, no, I'm done with it. I agree. 10% across the board. This country would make so much money. And that means all corporations. No deductions, no nothing. You don't get a deduction. You don't get a deduction. Shut up. 10% across the board. You give the government 10%. Fine.
I agree with that one 1,000%.
Not a penny more, not a penny less. 1,000.
Yeah, and that's always been my big hang-up is because they create so many damn loopholes, then it translates into this system that a lot of people perceive as completely unfair.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, it is. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Do you know how much I have to pay in taxes?
If you complain, if you're one of the people that complain about the millionaires and the billionaires, right, but you don't recognize that that's part of the problem is the loopholes in the tax system, come on.
Love you too, Nikki. The thing is this, is that if you do a flat tax, corporations are not going to be able to get away with that. And they want their tax write-offs, and they want their regulation, and they want the middle class to pay for it. We tried to talk about this with T.S. Dixon. He said it best. He's like, tariffs aren't the problem. It's the corporations passing it on to the working man. That's what's the problem is. But if you force those corporations, not that they can't do that, that they can't indiscriminately raise their prices, and the corporations have to pay for that. You're going to get taxed one way or the other, by tariffs, or you're going to get taxed by income, and you can't dodge it. Well, the problem is that they get double indemnity. They can just go ahead and dodge both, and then corporations don't pay what they should, or they put their money overseas and protect it like Apple did. I mean, Apple put all of their money into Ireland. Almost 75% of their overall U.S. cash was in Ireland at a 2.5% tax rate. They have no desire to give it to the U.S. And then that's the problem. But if Apple was taxed 10%, 10%, I mean, right there alone, just from Apple, a company that's worth how many trillions now? I mean, is it up to 2, or is it 2.2, 2.3?
You know,
you tax it. You're talking $250-300 billion in tax revenue from Apple alone. The average middle class person may not even have to pay at the level we're paying now, or even remotely close to it. Maybe U.S. citizens would have to pay 2% tax. But whatever it is, you need to tax equally, flat tax for everybody. Go ahead.
Completely agree. And we've talked a little bit about this before. I firmly stand behind the idea that corporations don't pay taxes. It's their customers that do. So this idea that if Apple up and moved to Ireland, or to any of the companies that do that, right? Fine, I don't care. If your corporate headquarters is in Ireland, that shouldn't shield you from any products that are sold within the continental United States. That's just my take on it. Like, if I buy an iPhone here, or if I'm Apple selling an iPhone here, hey, guess what? It's sold in the United States. You still have to pay taxes on that item.
Right.
That effectively removes any of these corporate bullshit games where they can say, oh, well, I'm just going to up and move my corporate headquarters to Hong Kong so I don't have to pay those taxes. No, that's not right.
Just do a flat tax and get rid of all the extra taxes.
Someone can walk up.
Get rid of property tax, get rid of the death tax, get rid of the real estate tax, get rid of, just stop it. Federal government taxes us 10%, state gets 2.5% to 5%. That's it. Everybody. That's it.
I could get down with that.
I'm and you're paying 12 to 15% for your taxes every year. That is so easy. And guess what? People are gonna be able to put money in the savings. People are going to invest in the stock market. People are going to invest in business. People are going to put it away for a rainy day. All of these things. So when it does get tight, we've got people who have a savings. None of these things are bad ideas, but the government doesn't want to do that because of corporations. Now, I'm not with Democrats. Democrats are, corporations need to pay their fair share. Well, corporations pay more than anybody. And if the tax code's broken, good for them. It's our fault. Fix the tax code. You know what? I don't want lower taxes. I want taxes that make sense, and I want frivolous spending to stop. That's what I want. I'm a conservative. I don't mind paying my share. What I can't do is keep throwing money away, and now my ownership of the debt is $272,000.
Yeah.
$272,000. Give me a break.
I get where you're coming from, but I do want lower taxes. But I don't just want them for just one group or one segment. I want
no. You got to fix it. I'm not saying that.
I know what you mean.
Fix the tax code, and then then we will get lower taxes.
But this 1,000%. What we need to do first priority is stop the bleeding.
Right.
Stop the dumb spending.
Right. But the thing is that you get lower taxes if you fix the tax code.
Yeah.
Remove the loopholes. And here's the thing. You should collect the taxes for the budget. That's it. And then have an indiscretionary fund of 1%. Fine. But you should collect the budget every year. But you don't. What you do is you get your revenue and you overspend the budget and you put us in a fiscal debt. And Americans owe that debt. That's the problem. But if you did a flat tax, you stupid, just do a flat tax, 10% for everybody, and we will dwindle the national debt to nothing in the next 30 years.
Yep.
30 years. Because I just told you how. Apple alone is going to put in $300 billion.
Brian Scott with $20.
Let me read this one. Let me read this one. This one's mine. I'm sorry it has taken long to donate. I feel like watching your show for free is being a tightwad. Charge $1 to view. Have a Discord where we can talk. No, I'll never charge for the show. I'll never put it behind a paywall. And Brian, thank you. I know it's been a pain in the ass. We've tried to walk you through it. I'm so glad you figured it out. We really appreciate it. You're not a tightwad. People give what they can, and I'm totally fine with that. You know, I totally am. Sorry, Brian's been a long time viewer and he's been trying to donate for a long time. I wanted to tell him thank you. Thank you so much for the donation. That puts us at $263.48. We have a hard stop for Leeroy in by 9:30, but I'm going to try to get you out of here.
Well,
at 9:15.
actually, I'm going to go ahead and scoot because I was just thinking about this. I have to get up in like 6 hours.
We love you. Get out of here.
I love you guys. And
see you, buddy.
Everyone have a great night.
Thanks, Leeroy. See you next time, buddy. Cool. Brother. So we're going to keep doing this. Leeroy, I love you, buddy. Thank you. Want to show you guys a video. I told him I'd get him out of here early tonight, and he deserves it. He's been busting his hump. Here is... I will figure out why this is lagging. I don't know why. Here is the video in Oregon. Watch this. This will shock you. Nobody's going to like this.
In the state of Oregon, someone can walk up to your 2-year-old kid completely bare naked, and that's not a crime, even if it's on your property.
Correct. Well, so it's trespassing, but what I'm saying is there's no laws against the actual nudity portion of it.
So you can expose yourself to children in Oregon.
Again, if you're not doing it for sexual gratification or the gratification of somebody else, yes, you are allowed to walk around in public naked.
On private property, this is where I live, and someone just came and exposed themselves to my 2-year-old boy, and this officer's saying that it's not a crime. So a naked person came up onto my property here, approached my 2-year-old kid, completely naked, which I ran over to him and covered his eyes so he wouldn't see. My obvious thought is to call 911 as someone's indecently exposing themselves to my child on my property. At what point did this become a normal and acceptable thing to do? The cops will literally do nothing about it. They're basically saying we have to wait for that person to do something more serious to your kid before we can intervene.
Oh, you know, I am really getting sick of Oregon, and this mayor is driving me crazy. And I'll show you a video of her, and it's annoying. Here she is with Rachel Maddow. Sorry. And we got a lot to go over tonight. Leeroy and I get together and we start yapping. Here it is.
Yeah, well, thank you. First of all, I want people to know that Portland, Oregon is a beautiful, vibrant, successful city. We are not a war zone. I was out there all weekend long. People were out and about, shopping, going to restaurants, going to soccer matches, going to shows. Portland is a beautiful place, and we are not under siege. There's no insurrection here. When the president makes a choice to say, I should have military troops in my state.
Why do all liberal white men look the same? I don't understand. Here's Oregon. Beautiful Oregon.
Oh, fuck, man.
Oh, yeah. Woo, let's do a tourism video of this.
You okay? Yeah. No, I have Narcan on me. Here. Stop! Seriously. Stop.
Little baby girls have never been touched. Like,
oh yeah.
If you want to give us your water, you can take off your water.
Stay in the... Can you stay out of the road? Stay out of the road. Can you stay out of the road?
This is death.
Being on the streets, yeah.
This is death. This is not life.
Yeah, it's Oregon. And I'll be honest, I want to move there. I was really considering moving to Oregon. And Wilsonville is where I traveled to for Hollywood Video and Movie Gallery whenever we went to corporate. And I loved it. I loved it. It reminded me of Colorado, but it just didn't have the oppressive just heat of Colorado at times. And I would love to live there. But alas, not anymore. You're on the Don't Unfriend Me show. This is Matt.
Hey, Matt, this is Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. I've got you for just a minute or so. I got to get moving. So what's up?
Some of those photos that you were just showing are those of mental illness,
Okay.
like schizophrenia.
Yep.
And they cannot help that.
Great. Then put them in a hospital and get them off the streets.
Exactly. A lot of them need to be put into a hospital as long as they were not done like they were back before they shut the hospitals down. Because in the past, they ended up doing a lot of cruelty in that hospital.
Yep.
And there's a lot of issues.
A lot of those are drug induced too. And so those are people who have ruined their minds by doing illicit drugs and have absolutely fried their brains. So some of that is schizophrenia, of course. And a lot of that is not. So either way, it doesn't matter. It should not be in any area of our country. And Oregon is renowned for this. And don't even get me started with Antifa. Don't even get me started with attacking police. This entire area is absolute garbage. And it's exactly like San Francisco. And they always have it in the same commonality, is that they're democratically run. So I understand some people have mental issues. Good, then get them off the street.
Yeah, they even have those in Oklahoma. I used to ride the bus, and I would see people walk right inside the front of the bus, and it was just like they did not know anything, and they need to be off the street because they're dangerous. They're dangerous to themselves, but dangerous to everybody else.
But in Oklahoma, what city are you in?
That's whenever I used to live in Oklahoma City.
And Oklahoma City is what color?
Blue.
Yeah. There you go. You don't see this. Yeah. You don't see this in my town. We have 0 homeless in this town. None. Not one.
Wow.
None.
That's good.
Well, it's because we obey the law. And the people who are problems are either in jail or they're getting the help that they need. So we don't have one homeless person in our town.
See, that's the way it is in Wagner's. We don't have anybody.
Right. So schizophrenia is alive here too. But we decide to obviously the people who are related to these people, take care of them or provide them the hospital care that they need in order to survive. They don't leave them on the streets. They don't abandon them. But this is the problem. And I don't care anymore. I just don't care. I will not go into any major city that I'm around except for Washington, D.C. now, because Washington, D.C. is relatively safe. But it wasn't.
No, see, my dad, he's a veteran, and he's been married. He's remarried to my stepmom, and her mom is going downhill with dementia.
Yep.
My dad's trying to reach out to try to figure out how he could help my stepmom's mom, because she's already tried to walk out twice. She's tried to turn on the burners, and she becomes very argumentative, which is actually not good for a military man that has PTSD. And it doesn't. Every single way that they're trying to turn to try to get my stepmom's mom help, she's in her 80s. Everything's being blocked. Well, just because she has a piece of land.
Right, I get it. I get it.
Huh?
I get it. I get everything you're saying. I get. But the issue is that it's responsibility of that town and that citizenry of that town to take care of the people of that town. And there are churches that can help. There are governments who can help. There are city governments that can help. There are donation groups that can help. But the thing is that you don't have that in democratically run towns. They want to give money to illegals and not U.S. citizens. I don't believe there should be anyone homeless in our country. We could solve that problem literally tomorrow, but we don't.
Yes, we could.
But we don't. And the reason why is because it's not convenient to do so, and we don't get anything out of it. But this is the problem with Democrat policies, is that they are absolutely breeding grounds for drug-infested, crime-riddled, disgusting rat shitholes of places to live. And eventually, this depression reaches out to the rural communities and the suburbs, and it will cross into those areas. And the safety of the constituents is their number one concern, yet they don't do it. So I understand where you're coming from, but I promise you this, there are people in my town that have dementia, and they are taken care of. And they are taken care of by the families in the community, because we're not putting money into illegals' pockets here. So
exactly,
if you can do it on this scale, if you can have a crime-ridden city on the complete left of the meter, then you can go ahead and do the exact same things we do here and put it to the right of the meter. The problem is that you don't like the answer. Nobody likes mental hospitals. I'm sorry. I don't care. Put them in the mental hospital.
We need mental hospitals.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have them. All right, kiddo, I got to go. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, Elizabeth, talk to you. Bye. So here's a couple of other things I wanted to get to. So Oregon, meh. I want to get to Candace Owens, because I'm not going to stop. Every time she tries to grift on this, I'm going to hit her. I'm going to hit her. And I'm going to hit her because she's wrong. She's lying to you. I happen to have the Charlie Kirk letter, and I went ahead and transcribed it. If you guys want a copy of it, I got it for you. And all 7 pages. And I've broken down what it is. First, let's watch Candace, and then I'm going to tell you what Charlie Kirk really said. Because remember, Charlie Kirk now has moved from this, that the assassin was a tactical shooter who was a paid professional assassin, to that this person is a patsy and they didn't do it. That his boyfriend, transgender person, did it. That Israel killed Charlie. Now she's on it that Erica Kirk and TPUSA annihilated Charlie because there was money that was being stolen from TPUSA, and he was going to do a Doge-like audit, and he was trying to find out where. There's no proof of that. She says she has receipts. Then she said that Charlie sent Netanyahu a letter that basically dressed him down and said, Israel, I'm no longer supporting Israel. I don't like Israel. I don't like you. And I've got a copy of that letter. She does not, because she won't show it because it disproves her. Now she's changing her story yet again. And now it's to this that TPUSA had a money and a thief problem, and they went ahead and killed her. And they're trying to install this new kid who's I can't remember his name, who is this mini Charlie Kirk. And because Fox News had him on an hour after Charlie died, and he smiled during an interview, that he is the new pro-Israel replacement, because Charlie Kirk was going to start speaking out against Israel. This is the letter. I've got it for you. Let's go ahead and watch this. And Erica really needs to come out, because Candace says, I won't stop until Erica Kirk tells me, or my husband. Well, her husband's a freaking loon. So Erica should just come out and say, knock it off. And you know what she will do? She won't. She'll say Erica Kirk is a part of it. That's why she wants me to stop, because she's a grifter and she's a liar and she's insane. And anyone who continues to watch Candace Owens and listen to her as she's espousing facts, she's always wrong. She's not right about anything. Laura Loomer, who is also insane, is right more often than Candace Owens. That should tell you something. And if you think Candace Owens is just this great prognosticator, call me. Tell me why you think that. Here's the phone number. You can call us, 276-200-2105. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to browbeat. I'm going to let you tell me why. But I remember the Candace Owens that I used to love, and this ain't her. This is not the same Candace Owens. This is a person who is broken by Ben Shapiro, who everything that goes on is because of Jews. That's the answer. It's always Jews. Jews, 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 Jews. That's what she believes. Got the letter. We'll talk about it. Here is Candace.
There definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost, there definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire content.
I got it. I got the whole letter with Charlie Kirk's signature on it and the date. Got it for you.
And it's like, don't start with just 2 sentences. Publish the entire thing. You're holding it. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents, that in May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his
No. Charlie didn't say that at all.
beliefs, free speech.
Wrong.
Here in America.
Nope.
Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened.
That's actually exactly how it happened. And it demonstrated his dedication towards Israel and said that there were things that were being said and disinformation spread in the United States that was pulling the youth away from Israel. And 24% of his followers, 24%, a very small percentage of his followers were susceptible to the alt-right and these negative campaigns that are being spread all over and financed, that they were losing the social media war. I've got the whole letter right here. Anybody who wants it, let me know.
Let's stop saying how Charlie felt. And instead, if you're going to hold up the letter, release it in its entirety.
We got it.
Okay?
Got the receipts.
Lies by severe omission, I'd like to be very clear, are lies. And does anybody want to jump in and say, no, yeah, the letter Charlie wrote him in May was just like a glowing, he just was overcome with passion.
Yes, I will go ahead and say that officially. Yes, I have the letter. Yes.
And said, I love Israel. You guys are amazing. You're beautiful. We're going to win this thing and you're perfect and doing nothing wrong. Love you, Bibi.
No, because that's not what the letter was designed to do. The letter was to rally and unify based on American politics and the ebb and flow of overall public opinion that Israel was losing the information war. That's what he said. But he also declared his love for Israel and passion for Israel. We'll talk about that. I got the letter.
Homie very quickly told us that Charlie was penning love letters to him in May. I just find that weird that no one wants to address the substance of the claims here.
I do, and I'm going to do that for you.
Whether or not maybe Bill himself has an opinion on whether Bibi lied by severe omission when he
Nope, didn't lie.
Mentioned his last correspondences with Charlie, and you're doubling down on your lie. I told you to publish the full letter that Charlie wrote.
I got it.
You, not lines of it. Okay, so lie by omission. Doing Fox News and Greta Van Sustern's show. He lied about the contents of a letter that Charlie Kirk had written him.
No, he didn't.
Remember on September 18th, I reported about a letter that Charlie Kirk wrote to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, what was exactly in it? Well, the New York Post got a hold of that letter and they've now published it. And it's exactly what I reported. Now, Charlie Kirk expressing his love for Israel, warning about the disinformation war, and really urging Israel to do better when it comes to social media and how to reach the younger people. No attacks on Israel, just advice on how to fight lies and reach the next generation.
Yep.
Not going to read the 7 pages, but
I do. I will.
It says, everything written here is from a place of deep love for Israel and the Jewish people. Israel is losing the information war and needs a communications intervention. Then he goes on to say, Mr. Prime Minister, I urge you, in caps, to revamp your information war strategy from top to bottom. It's exactly what I said, what was in the letter.
Can anybody actually work and assert that I am lying?
Yes.
You can say my name.
Yes,
Candace Owens is a liar.
Candace Owens is a liar. Candace Owens is, you know what? To my listeners who just came on who don't like me, Candace Owens is a fucking liar. Everything she says is a lie. She is a toxic, vitriolic, left, double-minded, charlatan, naysayer who is a deceiver and is evil. How did I do? Clip that for me, Candace, and suck it. She's a liar. Everything about her is a lie. She is not right. She's not conservative. She is a freaking nutcase. And I have said it. Come on my show, Candace. I will fucking destroy you. I dare you. Come embarrass me. Come show me. Here are the key points of the letter. Read all 7 pages, like 20 times. And I approach the letter as a child, as I approach the Bible. As a child, with a child's curiosity. That's how I did it. And I looked as best as I could for all the things she's saying. And here's my summary. It's very similar to what I would do if I was doing a situation report or doing a briefing or a debrief, is I would break it down like this and give you the contents. Here it is. Charlie Kirk wrote a long letter to Israel's prime minister outlining how Israel is losing the information war on social media, especially among younger generations and even within conservative circles. He argues Israel's current communication strategy is PR malpractice and far too reliant on third-party voices. He urges Israel to modernize its media outreach, adopt a campaign-style approach, and push back directly against anti-Israel narratives instead of letting others define the conversation. Israel's image crisis. Key points. Anti-Israel and anti-Semitic narratives are dominating social media. Even among conservatives and MAGA circles, support for Israel is slipping. Younger generations in particular are turning against Israel because they only see one side of the messaging, which is the Hamas and the pro-Palestinian Arabs. PR and social media failures, Israel's lack of a one-stop shop for clear information and response as a one-stop area to debunk and provide factual media and data that coincides and dissolves the conspiratorial type theories that are around everything. From the Rothschilds to the USS Liberty to the dancing Jews, all of it needs to be destroyed. From the Holocaust, from the lies about the Holocaust, for the sympathizers for Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, literally create a one-stop shop to destroy all of this stuff and make it public and put it on social media and put people who can talk with conviction and intelligence and challenge these grifters and beat them into the ground. Destroy them. Everywhere they turn, destroy them with the truth. Do what this show's been doing for 5 years. 5 years we've been doing this. Unapologetically, unafraid, and just telling the truth. And calling out everybody who's doing this grifting bullshit. From At War Clandestine with biolabs, to the frickin' Dominion servers, to the lies about the Nashville bombing when it came to the telecom center, from the Baltimore Bridge lies about how that was a Chinese op and the ship was taken over, from exposing school shootings and fake photographs to all of it, all of the conspiratorial type crap, and shutting it down. Israel lacks too much dependence on America or outside surrogated instead of direct Israeli voices. Current strategy described as PR malpractice. Recommendations: create an Israel Truth Network. Develop a rapid response team to counter misinformation in real time. Flood social media, TikTok, X, and Instagram with short, original Israeli-made video content. Use first-person Israeli voices, not just third-person advocates. Highlight Jewish culture, hostage stories, and humanitarian efforts. Do more press in English and directly address tough questions. Recruit younger communications 20 to 30s who understand modern media platforms. Opportunities: leverage Elon Musk's platform, TikTok's algorithm changes, and U.S. conservative influencers. Showcase Israel. And by the way, I'm for sale, Israel. I'm for sale. You're not going to get 100% agreement from me, but I'll take on these people. I'll take on the Candace Owens and the Tucker Carlsons and the Stu Peters and the Jake Shields grifters. I have no problem. Nick Fuentes is the least of your concerns. Nick Fuentes has defended Israel more in the last 45 days, 60 days. Because I'm telling you, if you can just hit the people who are grifting and remove their financial incentive to do this, not take their bank accounts, but have people embarrass them in the public square. In the public square, go after them. Shut them down. I'm telling you, you make it financially inopportune to hate Jews, and these people will stop. They'll be sucking hind tit in a lickety split. And the reason why is because there's no disincentive not to hate Jews right now, because it's a moneymaker. People are making just millions off this because hate sells. And everyone wants someone to blame. So why not blame the Jews? The Jews are responsible for everything wrong in your life. This isn't the first time this has happened, folks. Read a book. You can go back to ancient Judea. This took place. This was back with the Canaanites. This is nothing new. We saw this in Germany. We saw this with Rome in 1830. This isn't the first time. This has happened, and it's always what happens, is you find someone to blame. And if it's not Jews, it's Christians. And if Muslims didn't have Christians and Jews to hate, they would kill each other, because that's also in history. Look between 1830 and 1940. It was one of the bloodiest times in Muslim history. Terrorism has lived since the days of the Barbary pirates. This is not today and tomorrow's problem or yesterday's problem. This is millennia's problem. Showcase Israel as a close ally for the U.S. and a key part of Team Humanity. Push back against misinformation about Gaza, Iran, Israeli military actions. Urgency. Israel is getting crushed on social media. Without aggressive media reform, Israel's risk losing not only the information about war, but also long-term U.S. military political support. It is a 100% accurate portrayal of where we are. It's strict. It's a little harsh, and it's very honest from a person who is an expert at social media influencing. Charlie Kirk was the best of the best. Now you've got Crowder, who is also an incredible influencer. You've got Joe Rogan, who is an amazing influencer. You've got people out there. You've got Candace Owens. Her audience is loyal to her. So, if you're Bibi Netanyahu, you know what I do? I invite Candace Owens for a sit down, and she can ask any question she wants. Put her right in the chair. Destroy her. Destroy her credibility. Nick Fuentes just cooked her. Just absolutely cooked her and showed how crazy she was. I got to give Nick credit. Nick crushed her. Absolutely decimated her. I'll take her on. And you know what? I may not know everything, but I know the truth. I know what's true and I know what's fake. And the only thing that I know for certain is what she says is a lie. And for her to say, well, Erica Kirk just needs to tell me to stop. She won't stop. She'll never stop. She's a liar. She's a false prophet. And she's grifting off Charlie's death. That's the truth. That's the truth. She's grifting off his death. And she hates Jews because it's profitable. Yes, Brian, we got it. Thank you, buddy. I'm just reading. Because Jason says, because I'm a shooter, we're all shooters, first of all. The story makes no sense that the round is devastating at 200 yards. I've blown out large game shoulders with it. A human can't stop it at 200 yards. Yeah, unless it tumbles. Then it splinters. Then it redirects its path. If it's tumbling when it enters the body, which would explain the giant entry wound and would also explain the overall pressure coming out of his neck, because if it did go out the back of his head or it did go out the back of his shoulder or whatever it would be, then you would not see as the cavitation creating the outpouring of blood that you did, unless that was the only ability for that to happen. That explains the blood flow. When you put a round into a deer and it doesn't come out the other side, where's the blood flow come out? It comes out where the wound is at. The amount of pressure in his body. Did you see his face cavitate? You see his neck cavitate? He expanded. All the blood, all the cartilage, all the bone, all the mass, all the fat, everything literally expanded his face. Look at the shot again. It didn't exit his body. If that round was tumbling, if that bore wasn't perfect, it's an older weapon. If it was dirty, if it had cobwebs in it, if it had over amount of dust in it, can impact the tumbling of the round. We know this. You're a firearms expert. Is it probable? Probably not, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. It's better than there was some magical freaking hand pistol from one of his security guards, or it came out from the back and it hit him in the head. It's all bullshit. I've broken down that film. We nailed what it was. We had that it was a bolt-action rifle, that it was either a 308, a 270, and I think that was it. And then someone did say 30-06. And I think a lot of people balked at 30-06. But the report of the actual weapon sounded very concussive and bassy, which was why a lot of myself and Thomas said 308. But a 308 is going to do devastating damage too, unless it's tumbling. We also don't know the grain count of the weapon. We don't know what speed it was moving at. Could be a higher grain velocity or lower velocity, higher grain count. We don't know. We don't have the ballistics. And yes, that's going to take time. An autopsy is very easy to disprove. But if that round is tumbling and it enters and it shatters and it fractures, it's going to hit his apricot and his brainstem. It's going to hit his spinal column. That's why he got turned off like a switch. Even with a round in the neck like that, it's not instant kill unless you sever the spine or sever the brainstem. Even if he hit his carotid, he's going to live a little bit. There's going to be something. He was dead. Dude, he got turned off like a switch. I've shown you the video. Is it feasible that some secret plot is afoot where they're altering information and putting in patsies because the rounds don't make sense? Or could it just possibly be that the bullet tumbled? Is that possible? It sure is. And everyone knows it is. It says in the scripture that all nations will turn against Israel. Well, that doesn't shock anybody. Really concerned as to why, because Tim calls out certain things. But Tim also doesn't know about the relationship with Charlie and Candace. It seems to be that she didn't go to the funeral. Do you really think that's her? You don't think she would want to go up on stage and kind of realign herself with the conservative movement for more money? You think that she's doing this, she's doing all of this and changing the story? She won't apologize about the letter. Most people come out and say, you know what, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. That letter literally was marketing advice from a person who loves Israel. I made a mistake. I was wrong. She won't do it. She's just going to move on to the next thing. And I'm telling you, if Erica Kirk comes out, I'm telling you right now, if she comes out and says, hey, knock it off, Candace. You said if I say something, you know what she'll do? They got to her. She's now one of the assassins. She was conspirating. There's no way she would ever tell me, my Charlie. Do you see how she takes ownership of him? Give me a break. The woman's a freaking nutcase. And I remember what I said is that I thought it was a 308 or a 270. I still hold true that it may not be a 30-06. I got the original shooter. Remember, the secondary shooter who used the Mauser, and it was an 8mm round. I was right. The ice shooter. I was right. I still hold true that I have not heard a confirmed report. It was in one FBI report that it was a 30-06. I have not received official confirmation, and I don't expect to because nobody talks to me about it. But when the story comes out and we actually get the ballistics report, I would not be shocked if it wasn't a 30-06. I would not be surprised. Folks, I don't know how we haven't hit goal yet, but like I've given overtime and like, we got to hit goal. I mean, especially with losing Wimkin. I mean, this is huge. This is huge. We got to at least hit the 3. I mean, I can find other ways, but if we can't do that, especially as good as the shows are being lately and how good we're doing. So, if everyone gave a buck, we crush it. We got 164 people on in general pop right now. Okay? There's no reason we shouldn't be able to hit this thing. Nobody likes the way Erica's grieving, supposedly. Who are you to decide how she grieves, right, Deborah? I'm with you. But Nick has said that. I don't care what Nick Fuentes says about that. I really don't. Because, first of all, Nick Fuentes has never experienced a touch of a woman. Second, he's never grieved with a woman. He's never had a matriarchal and patriarchal relationship. People are built differently. They grieve in different ways. If I lost my wife, I would cry and I would be horrible. And then I would move on. Because I would have to be there for my kids. And if God forbid something happened to my kids and something happened to my wife, I would then grieve and I would cry and I'd feel horrible. And then I would move on because I got to be here for you. So people grieve differently. But just because somebody smiles doesn't mean that there's a conspiratorial plot to kill Charlie Kirk. Come on. Jason says, I assure you it wasn't. And I have talked to plenty of people that absolutely, see, you just completely, Jason, went completely around what I said. I assure you it wasn't. You can't assure me of that. You don't know what you're talking about. And neither do I. We don't have the ballistics report. But what you did is you completely went around and just said it can't tumble. And that means that you don't know what you're talking about. That is only the evidence that I need that you're wrong. Because you are saying that it's impossible for a round to tumble. And that the characteristics of that tumbling aren't indicative of the result that we got with Charlie. And that is 100% wrong. That is 100% incorrect. It's just wrong. That's all. Yes. Elizabeth, can you stop spamming, please? Can you stop spamming our chat? It makes it really hard for me to see what's going on. Mel, you already donated so much tonight. You didn't need to do that again. I mean, guys, there's other people in this show besides Mel. Thank you, Mel. He is convinced. No, he isn't convincing a lot of other people. See, Nick Fuentes has a very specific group of people that listen to him, and they constantly spread his information. But it's not as big as you think. Please understand this, is that social media isn't as big as you think. When I release a video, about 3% of my audience sees it. A lot of people spread Nick's stuff because he says things, then they like what he has to say. But he has no idea about Erica. He doesn't like her. So, of course, he also said a lot of shit about Charlie, too, when he was alive. So Nick isn't a fan of Charlie. And if you listen to his video of what he said about, literally, he took TPUSA like it was his baby, and he effed the baby. That's what he said, verbatim. So I don't consider him to be a good character witness. Matt, if you see Tim out and about, ask him. I'm not going to ask. I don't see Tim out and about. We don't travel in the same circles. He literally lives 15 miles from me. I've never met him, never seen him. And honestly, I don't even think I'd ever go on his show, even if he invited me. And I don't think he ever would. I don't have any desire to go and do Tim Pool's style of conversation. It's not that I don't like Tim. Tim's a genius, and he is amazing at what he does. And he is an incredible marketer, too. I should have included him. He's great at it. But Tim Pool, I've seen his shows, and he likes to talk a lot and not let other people talk. And I'm not built like that. Even though I talk a lot with Leeroy. I love you, son. Love you. Good night, buddy. Even though I talk a lot with Leeroy and Amy and Olivia, that's a little bit different. Thomas, thank you. 2110. Appreciate you. When I have guests, I let them talk. And I want to hear from them. You know? And Tim doesn't do that a lot. Tim's a smart dude, and he wants to say whatever he wants to say. And I saw him with Damani, and I've already learned what it would be like for me. Damani got to say like 5 or 6 things, and he didn't let Damani talk. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Rogan is the best. He asks the hard questions on all fronts that need to be asked, no matter his opinion. Lois, thank you so much. $21.10. God bless you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I like Rogan. I've always liked Rogan. Who or anyone to tell another person how to grieve? Yes, Melanie. Finally ordered my Freedom Charlie shirt. I did see that, man. Thank you, Bubba. I'll make sure it gets out tonight. I'll send in the order. They'll ship it hopefully in the next couple days. Yeah, Bill Maher's great. Bill Maher is a fantastic person to listen to. Even though I don't agree with everything he says, there's a lot of things I can't stand that he says. But he's been doing a good job lately. Deborah, I'm so sick of it all that I almost got rid of all social media. Then stop consuming the things you're consuming, Deborah. Listen, if you need a detox from social media, the best way to do that is to start just deleting things in your thread that are bothering you. Is that I've learned to curtail. Like, I let people get away with quite a lot on my threads, but once they start doing the Nazi stuff, I get rid of them. Thomas Cawthon, thank you, buddy. Come on, guys, help out. Just 5 to meet goal. We got it. Thank you, Tommy. So I've learned to remove certain things. Like when people start going in and insulting me, I don't really care. That doesn't bother me. But when they start harping on other people, I give them a little bit of rope, but then I just get rid of them. But do a cleansing of your threads. Don't jump off. Ballistic tip or another high deforming round, I may not go all the way, or old rounds that might not burn the powder cleanly. Well, that's the point I'm trying to say. You don't know how old those rounds are. You look at the scope, it wasn't a modern day scope based on what we saw. We don't know how old that Mauser. We know it was carbon fiber stock. It's been retrofitted like all Mausers that come in overseas. But we just don't know. We don't know what the rounds were. We don't know how old they were. We have no idea. No, I'm not going to do that. Listen, my beef with Candace Owens isn't her as a person. My beef is with her as a liar. That's all. I don't like her lies. And it doesn't mean that I couldn't have a good conversation with her. And it doesn't mean, honestly, if I sat down with her, I don't want to talk about Jews. I don't want to talk about Charlie Kirk. I want to talk about Candace Owens. I want to talk about her life. I want to talk about her child, how she feels motherhood has changed her. Has it made her better or worse? CJ Jenkins donated 1080. Great show. Thank you, CJ. I want to get to know Candace. I just want to have a conversation with her. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to make her feel stupid. I don't want her to make me feel stupid because that woman's freaking smart. I don't like liars. And I don't like people who grift. I don't like people who literally do clickbait. Now, listen, I put out videos out there that are like the Pete Hegseth one. I'm like, Pete Hegseth dresses down, it's a joke. It's humor. It's like Babylon Bee. But when it comes to serious stuff, I don't joke around with that shit. I don't mislead people. I don't like people who do. And does that make me a snob, a truth snob? Yes, I am a snob and elitist when it comes to truth. Can't stand it when people bald-faced lie. Can't stand it at all. Matt, is this all about Candace, her faith, and looking for reason to someone? I think Candace, here's my opinion, and this is just my opinion. I don't have any proof of this. My opinion is that Candace Owens was a absolute top-tier conservative influencer. And what Ben Shapiro did to her, she feels de-elevated her status in this community. And she is trying to find her relevance again. Hi, puppy. She's trying to find her relevance. And she believes that this is her best way. And I think it's very much like Tucker. I showed you the video. Tucker mentioned Jews like 275 times in like a 4-month period of time. It is that this is an easy way to compete for market share of a group of people that are in the millions, which is the Muslim community, Hamas supporters, people who are even left, who just hate the right, who love Candace and love Tucker trouncing on the right. They love it. And she's going to realize at some point she's going to be a woman without a country. She's going to do so much damage that the people who are flocking to her to hate Jews, when this is no longer pertinent, like if this peace deal goes between Trump and Netanyahu and Hamas leadership, and the Qatarians settle this, and there's an Abraham Accord that's placed with Saudi Arabia and Israel, and this stops, do you understand what that means? This Jew, go Ash, go through. Hold on. Can somebody help the dog get through the curtain, please? You're okay. You're okay. You got to push through, baby. It's a curtain. Just run right through it, okay? Go run through. Go on the other side. Close it, go on the other side. Call her. Don't hold it open. Don't hold it open. Call her. Really excited. Go, baby. Go. Get her, Ash. Get her really excited. Get her treats. Keep talking. Go get it, Ash. You gotta coax her in. Sorry, we put up a curtain in between the kitchen and here for sound dampening, and also so I can open the doors because it gets hot in here, and the dog can't get through. There she goes. There, she did it. Soft point that mushroom and put all the energy in the vertebrae it hit. Yep. I've seen this in hunting before. Even tumbling, I think it's gone. You know it reacts different than a 9mm. Of course I do. Velocity, overall grain count, the barreling. I get all of it. If a bullet tumbles, if the bullet fails, if the cartridge didn't have complete seal when the pin struck, if the powder was turned. I mean, there's just so many different variables. We don't know. One shot, we don't know. Jason, if it hit the vertebrae and put all the energy in it, they said the bone was extremely dense. Matt, the Bible story has already happened. End of story. The Father will bring. I don't know what that means. When I lost my son, I went into shock and I couldn't cry for a long time. I thought something was wrong with me. No, Deborah, yeah, it hits people. I didn't cry when my uncle died. And it took 45 days. I was driving on the underpass and I just broke down. I couldn't stop. I couldn't breathe. Jason, you're right. She hasn't had the time to grieve. I'm just reading comments now. I didn't say that, Jason said. Okay, well, we're in text, bro. So we may not get everything right. I'm just letting you know that we don't know. And we can predict all we want, but what I'm doing is I'm doing plausible, because we have the facts, and now my job is to disprove the facts. And I cannot disprove that it was one bullet from a 308 and a Mauser reconditioned. I can't prove that. And until I can, and saying that a 308 or, excuse me, 30-06, a 308 or a 30-06 or even a 270 would have went right through him. I cannot endorse that logic. No. On normal circumstances, yes, but there's too many variables. How old's the ammunition? Was there a failure? What was the grain count? What was the tip? We saw the amount of pressure that was excavated from the entry, which leads us to believe that it wasn't and didn't have an exit, because if it did have an exit, blood would not have been as flowing as it was from the front of the wound. There's just too many variables. Thank you, Mel. I wanted to, but thought groceries. Yes, groceries. You guys, don't ever donate if it puts you in a bad shape. Don't ever do it. Listen, there's more than just a few people. Don't ever put yourself in a situation. Never apologize for not being able to donate. If you don't bring it up, we won't hit it. I've been doing this now for 2 years. Don't ever donate if you can't afford it. Ever, ever, ever. You hear me say it all the time. I don't need an apology. There are people who donate all the time. There's people who donate once. It always is the right amount. It's always the right time. My job as a person who is using this as a living, I have to try to hit that 300. That's our goal. That's what we try to do. You notice how we don't keep pushing. We might say, hey, if we overdrive, it's great. But I'm still on. I'm with you. I'm not going anywhere. So don't apologize. Take care of yourself. Put your oxygen on first. You don't need to give me some sort of tithe or whatever it's called. I don't need that. I'm not a church, okay? I'm not a 501c3. I'm a podcast guy who's trying to grow as big as we can, and I try to give you the best information I can, and we build relationships through the show. That's what we're doing, okay? You're not giving me a loan. You're not giving me charity. You're paying because you're like, hey, I watch this a lot. I watch this 20, 30 hours a week, and because of that, instead of giving it to Netflix, we want to give it to you. Or you don't want to give anything, and that's okay too. Just like and share the show. Kim Jergermeyer, $15, Dodgers all the way. Houston is not even in it. It pisses me off. I like how direct you are also. It was just targeted to me, but I still like, Jason, never take that personal. It's text. And I talk to everybody this way. Ask my wife. People go, oh, be nice to your wife. I'm like, I am. It's just how I talk. I'm a direct human being, and I don't sugarcoat things. I don't know how to do that. I don't lie to people. I don't suck up to people. If I think you're saying something stupid, I'm going to tell you. And we'll get to it. Like Mel, I don't argue with Mel. I haven't argued with Mel since Starboard and Port, way back in Baltimore. But tonight, I think her bosun thing is stupid. And she knows I thought it was stupid, but it doesn't mean I don't love her for it. Of course I love her for it, but I'm going to argue with her. She's amazing. And you're amazing too. Yeah, disagreement isn't insulting unless you're overly sensitive. Listen, this is the way we do things on the show, Jason. It's pretty simple. Is that if you have an opinion, say it's my opinion, and I won't take it as fact. But when people come up here and espouse something, and they're like, this is the way it is, and I guarantee it, then I'm like, okay, we're going to get into it. Because I don't do that. And when people say, hey, this is just my opinion, I usually go, okay, that's great. That's great. And I don't, because you're allowed to have an opinion. What you're not allowed to do is make up your own facts. That's what I don't do. So when people say there's no way it was a 30-06, I'm like, you're being disingenuous because you know there is a way. There's plenty of ways. I've explained them to you. You just don't want to believe that they're possible. Not you, but the people who refuse. They want a conspiracy theory. They want something conspiratorial, and they will never accept the answer that's out there. They're like, you can't trust the narrative. You can if you can't disprove the narrative. And until something else comes along that explains it with as much fluidity and possibility as what you're hearing, then you do accept it until you prove it otherwise. Unlike Candace, who tries to believe nothing, and everything is a conspiracy, and therefore nothing is provable. Even the things she has already said that she backpedals on and goes, oh, but I meant this. And you're like, what? You were an avid supporter of your own theory 24 hours ago. Yes, but the situation's changed. And instead of me apologizing, I'm just going to make up new stuff to distract you from it. That I can't stand. Not that you're doing that. That's right, Matt. Matt, that's a great point. It's a great point. I'm being respectful and you like to debate, so maybe another time. I don't like to debate, Brian. I think debate is the most worthless thing that we do. I think debate is completely useless. It's completely arbitrary. It's just like football and hockey and pugilism. I'm not saying I don't like those things. I love boxing matches. I love UFC. I love hockey. But it's immaterial. It's just arbitrary. You might as well just sit around and just chew caramel. There's no point to it. You don't benefit from it. You get a small dopamine high, and then next week you do it and you lose, and it's just up and down. It's the same thing every year. And if your team wins, it's great. And if your team doesn't, it sucks. And very, very rarely do we respect the season itself and how great it was and how much joy it gave us or how much it didn't. But either way, it's just arbitrary. Debate is the same way. It's really cool to watch, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Nobody changes their mind. The only way to change somebody's mind is that if they like you. And I don't see much liking going on. I don't see people trying to relate to people. I don't see people trying to, first of all, let's find out where we agree. So all we do is just disagree is not my goal. That's debate. Debate is let's find out where we differ and continue to differ. Mine is let's find out where we have something in common and let's build that relationship where we like and respect each other so we can change each other's minds. I hate debate. I did debate in school. I debate all the time with people who want to debate me. I don't do that. Like when people come in here, oh yeah, let's go. And I'm like, wait a second, whoa, where are you from? What's your name? What do you do? All right. Okay, go ahead and ask your question. And then it's like, all right, well, I just wanted to ask, and it calms it down. People have seen me do it 100 times on this show. I don't like debate. JD got it. Yep, JD got it. JD crushed it. It's right there. He knows. That makes me that makes me proud. That gives me knockus. That's proud. Because he understands me enough to be able to say that. I don't like debate. And it's not that I can't do it. I can do it. I can go on for 2 minutes, no problem. I've always got questions. I've always got answers. I like to have a conversation. I like to build a relationship with people. And sometimes that relationship is yelling. There was a guy on here that we were just screaming and yelling at each other. And then it wound up being a great one at the end. How do I get the donation thing so I can see the comments? Like when you donated, it came up and I called your name out, man. Brian? Okay. I think I saw it. All right, I got to get you guys out of here. You guys drive me crazy. There's too many good conversation. Kyle says Matt's a master debater. I don't know about that. I'm really not. I get emotional. I get fired up. I just like to have conversations with people. I really do. Charmin says, knock us. Yeah. Pride. We are not allowed to ask for personal donations on this show. it's not that it's not allowed. It's that if you want to fundraise on this show, respect the person who's paying for it. You know what I mean? So it's like going into a retail store and selling perfume when you're in a pizza shop and you're like, you're taking money out of my pocket. You're taking money out of customers. I'm the same way. Like, I'm paying for this. This is my space. This is my retail space. If you want to come in here and raise money, ask me. There's people who've done it. Hey, I had somebody last week who said, man, I'm really tight right now. Things are really, really bad. Is there any way we can ask the dummies for help? And Olivia and I are like, nope. And we just took care of it. So that's the game. Man, I had a great night. Can I tell you, church has been so, it's really helping giving me clarity. And I can't wait to talk to my pastor tomorrow because I get to meet him. And I'm just going to be like, man, I'm not doing perfect. I'm still screwing up and but I'm starting to feel better about what I do. I don't feel ashamed. And I think it has a lot to do with God's grace and prayer, and said a big prayer today. Yeah, for a viewer who asked. And I don't know, I feel good. So we're just going to keep doing this and keep crushing it. We have a lot of people on right now. Another donation just came through. Rumble chat, sliding edge. I don't pay enough attention to Candace to catch lies. Other podcasters take her theories as gospel and run with it. If the evidence submitted looks true without having expertise in that field. Yeah, listen, it's hard. It's hard to figure out he said, she said. It's hard. Like, Candace Owens, and unfortunately without Charlie Kirk, knows the relationship she had with Charlie Kirk. And nobody can define that except for her and other people who witnessed it. Do I think Candace Owens, what she's doing right now, is evil? Yes, most assuredly. I think it's unchristian-like, and I think it's beneath her class as an intellectual. I do. Brian says, talking about the one that talks about who do the show and gives the link to donate. I can't see comments. Oh, it's right down here in the lower left-hand corner. It's right here, man. You see this? This right here, this little thing that plays, it's going to recycle in about 2 seconds. But this thing right here is always on the screen, and it shows you where to go. This thing. It's right down there. Does that help? Positive perspective is half of manifestation. I like that quote. That's good. That's good. Yeah. And the thing is positive. And if I could just change it from positive perspective, positive intent is for you to give to the other person. It's not for them to give to you. That's the true nature of positive feedback, is you have to assume that the person across from you let me rephrase that. Positive intent starts with that the person giving you the feedback, who's across from you, is coming from a positive place. And I'm not very good at it, but I've worked at it. And that's where I found myself getting better, is assuming positive intent, even with my viewers when they say things. Like, I'm not going I used to go after the viewers just hard. And it wasn't because I was mad at them, or it wasn't because I thought I was better than them, or I wanted to belittle them or make them feel small. I just disagree with them. And I'm like, well, this is the forum to do it. Let's go. And they were like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't care. You just said it. I saw it in black and white. It's not the way to be. And I'm trying to get better at that. Matt, maybe you need to see a QR code. I do have a QR code. But how can people take a picture of a QR code on there? I can put a QR code. I just didn't know you could. Can you touch it when it's on Facebook and the QR code's there? Oh, Sandra Carl, knock it off. Christine, I have a QR code. I just didn't know you could do it on the show. And can you still tap it on your phone while you're reading or you're watching the show? Let me know, please. Here, let me do this real quick and then I got to go. I got to go spend time with my wife. I've missed her terribly today. And I hate when she's not on the show because I miss her. So I got to go do this real quick. I'm going to try to find this QR code. I always like Mondays or Tuesdays. Okay. Code is in. Oh my God. I already hit login. Hello. Oh my Lord. Oh Lord. Come on. Okay. Business tools. Let's see. I'm looking, everybody. I'm going to do a search for it. Send money. Come on. Business tools. There it is. I think. Take payments without QR code. Okay. Okay. QR code. Yes. I want it. Give it to me. Give it to me. Download your QR code. Allow. Okay. You guys tell me. Can you see this? Guys, try to click that. Does it work? I can do this too. And then I got to go. I love spending time with you. We got a full week to do. Holy shit. I have something going viral on TikTok. Oh, sorry for cursing. Oh. Couple things going viral on TikTok. Woo. Nice. That's good stuff. All right, let me see. Okay, can I click that? So, no, I'd have to take a screenshot of it, I guess, right? So QR code doesn't work. How to remove it? I'm lucky I can find PayPal. Do you have dummies merch? Oh, yeah, Jason. We got a shit ton of great stuff. Our site's got great stuff, dude. Everyone loves our store. Reading. Matt, move it to the right. Closed captions in the way. Okay. I cannot click it on my phone. Either can I. So I think what you would have to do is take a picture of it and then do it. Yeah, you can't click it. The QR, oh, I know the QR code works, but how do you do it? Do you click it? And is it because you have an Android phone? Because it doesn't work on iPhone. All right. Will you guys let me know? And hi, Bobby. And tell Gerald I'll have that conversation with him when you guys come out. It worked on your Moto. Works for me. Is it because you have Android? For people saying it works, it's because you have an Android, right? Thanks. I was able to get a few things off my chest tonight. Deborah, we love you. Don't leave. Stay here. Be with us. Okay, so it works on Android. Once again, we are not communicating. Take a screenshot. Yeah, that's what I thought. Take a screenshot and then click the screenshot and then try to open it. Android, that's why. Oh. You have an iPhone and it worked for you? Why isn't it working for me? Well, I'll put it on there. All right, you guys just text me and tell me what the hell's going on, and I'll fix it. And if that'll work, I'll put this up. And is that big enough? I don't know. We'll talk tomorrow. All right, everybody. God bless. Listen, see you tomorrow. It's going to be Barry Morgenstein, Olivia, and myself are all going to be here. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to be with you. Thanks for tonight. Thanks for helping out. Thanks for your donations. We'll figure it out. Yeah, and if that's the easiest way to do it is putting a QR code up, then I'll just have the QR code up. Wait, what? Wait, what? Another donation. Okay, hold on. And I can get a QR code for Venmo too, and I can put them up there. I don't know if I want to keep them up all during the show, but I think we can do something about it. I don't know. Like have them randomly pop up. You took a picture of your phone? Okay. Received my shirt today. Thank you. Yes. All the shirts should be coming. I'm excited for you guys. Another donation. And Sling and Rumble Chat donated $5. Again, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Is that it, Libby? One more. Okay, one more. One more. All right, well, now we have a QR code. That's cool. And I'll do something with it. I'll figure it out. If you have YouTube, Facebook on the TV, CPU, right. All right, I'll put up the QR code. We have a Fisher donated. My phone can scan the QR code without taking a screenshot. Okay, yeah. All right, so we'll just keep them up there. That's fine, right? We'll just keep them up. Okay. All right, is that it? All right, everybody, I'm gonna go. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good show. Thank you, everybody. I had fun tonight. Put it up during commercial. Okay. All right. Good night, Shirley. Good night, everybody. See you, Frederick. Deborah, hang in there. All right. Good night, babe. Appreciate it. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.